think? Wait, are you cleaning up your office? Are we cleaning that? We're decontaminizing the restaurant.
Decontaminate. Yes.
It's 3:00. We need to put a sign up.
We got to. No. We don't tell anybody we do.
We're not going to tell anybody either. We're just going to like, oh, hey.
Now,
I'm sorry.
What we can have outside our restaurant is we'll have all the signs with the rainbow flags and how we're a safe space and how we support the heroes. But we can't put up a sign that conveys useful information.
Christ, no. And you know what we should? Hey, great one. To add, I got an idea. Okay, hear me out. You right? Are you sitting down?
Oh.
Are you sitting down?
But I can handle it.
You should probably sit down. No, you can't handle this standing up. This is going to floor you, man. It's going to floor you.
All right, I'm going to sit down.
Let's let on a beautiful day in Moab when it's like 80 degrees and no humidity and just a nice little brisk wind. We're like, it'd be wonderful to sit outside. Let's sit everybody outside so that you think that our place is open. But then when you go to the front door, like, oh no, it's only the outdoors that is open, but they're all full, and go fuck yourself because we're cleaning.
We're cleaning.
Like, you know, the biggest dick tease you ever got from a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's multiply that by 10 and we'll turn it into a restaurant. That's
exactly what that was. Yeah. Thanks for the dick tease.
Yep. How you been?
Good, man. Just got back from bike riding and trail running.
Yeah. I enjoyed Moab. That was great.
I did too. Wonderful. That was wonderful. I had a great time. I would go back there in a heartbeat.
The GF listened to you. I want to say critique, but that indicates that you'd have some kind of position of authority about my hiking technique and tactics. And she was laughing her ass off, like, I gotta get frothy. What if I ever froth at the mouth to get to the top of a hill?
No, the whole 4 days. Oh man, let's go. Come on, you guys. Come on. You're so slow.
And anyway, no, but we are here to talk about that because you, like earlier today, the reason the GF can't make it for lunch is because I took some time off. And I just sat out in my backyard with the soda water, looking at the clouds, trying to relax and realize I don't have to do anything today. I don't have to be anywhere. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to chill out and relax. And so you did teach me some things. I'm not implementing them worth a damn at all. I'm trying my best, but it's not that good. Well, we did have a guy who sent an email in and specifically requested your expertise on achieving Zen. And so I thought we'd go through this and then we can get the hell out of here and go to our own respective things during the day. But so we got it. And I had emailed you his request, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, let me pull this up here and make sure I'm reading all of it because he sent me several emails. Is just this. This is just that. All right, here's the main one. He has two questions. This comes from Stefan. Stefan asks, my two questions are, one, how did, quote, the Great One achieve perfect Zen and not giving a shit about the decline? I've only reached that part of the journey. I can ignore most, but not all of the BS. Two, what tips does he have for others to achieve that level of utter acceptance of the inevitable and giving up hope for even the smallest number of future generations? There are a few Gen Xers and millennials who have a clue, but we are all quite rare. I would venture 1 in 1,000 or less. In my generation, baby boomers, I'm sure I'm 1 in 10,000, maybe 1 in 100,000. I realize that decades of propaganda and dumbing down the educational systems have left a legacy of very stupid, ignorant electorates. Few can even describe what a republic is versus a democracy or why the founders feared a true democracy. But even in Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, those who went Galt came together in Glitter Gulch. It's Galt's Gulch. Glitter Gulch? He wrote Glitter.
Oh.
In order to unplug from the lunacy around them, we don't have such a gulch. Thanks, Steve. All right, so let's go with that first question. How did the Great One achieve perfect Zen and not giving a shit about the decline? He's only reached part of that journey. He could ignore most, but not all of the BS.
Oh, man.
That's it. That's all there is.
That's all there is. It's just
say 42 and we're done. We could go home, make our money. We go home.
Yeah.
That's 42.
42. I mean, sure. Explain how you achieved perfect Zen. Well, the Dalai Lama blessed me and he said that on my deathbed, I would have perfect enlightenment. Man. All right.
I got a theory, but I'm waiting to hear what you say. I have because no path that's worth it is without pain. I know you like to leisurely lollygag up paths and maybe make it to the top or not, but I have a theory. But you go ahead.
Okay. All right. I thought about this a lot to try to figure this out. And how did I achieve? I think part of it, I think this is a big factor, is that I don't have any children. I think if you have children, I don't know that you can completely check out unless you really hate your children. So part of how I achieve this is not having kids. Another part of how I achieve this, I think, is just, it boils down to after looking at everything around me and seeing it for what it is and letting all of the hopes and the dreams and the changes and the hopies for the changes and stuff, and all of this stuff just flow away. And when you actually see what it is and you evaluate things realistically, you will just see that there is no way out of the decline. The decline is coming, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's I don't know how well that answers the question. That's like an overview. I have like,
I mean, that's the overview. It's learning what, and to this day, I just did a video for this black kid. He's got an IQ of 141. He used to be a lefty. He said, fuck it. And I'm like,
nice.
Okay, he's got a lifetime hurdle ahead of him on multiple fronts, overcoming what society is going to tell him. Mm-hmm. And what I have found, and what I was recommending to him, and it is a daily challenge, because you are a product of your past, and you can't just flip a switch and it's done. But you have to really acknowledge what you do and do not control.
Yes,
and
absolutely,
and I think your point about not having kids, like, you control that. I'm not putting kids into the future. I'm not going to, because they're going to suffer. They're going to be pain.
Right.
And exactly. I don't control the riots in the Twin Cities. I don't control the tax rates. I don't do this, but I do control whether I go out to Moab. I do control whether, and at the same time, I don't think you have a soul. Like, I don't think anyone could achieve true stoicism. Like, even Marcus Aurelius got pissed off, threw his quill down or whatever the hell he did, and because things weren't going his way, even though it was outside of his control. So I think it's a natural human reaction to have a care, to give a damn, because you've got a soul. I mean, you could even argue maybe it is in ethics or morals, but you're like, why are you burning down your town? Why are you majoring in stupid shit? Why are you gaining weight and being a fat fuck of a wife?
Exactly.
But if you want to look at it as it's all you. I don't mean this in a greedy sense. I don't mean this in a selfish sense, but it is all you, because you are the only thing you can control. And it is realizing to absolutely let go of shit that could even kill you later on, that you don't control, so don't worry about it. And that's the hard part. And that's kind of where I mean, that's the standard answer for stoicism, but it's harder than you think.
It is. It's definitely harder than you think. And yeah, because I mean, sure, it is definitely human nature to care about things, to care about your society, yada, 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 and overcoming that. And so I think that's part of the process. If you're going to truly have zero F's to give.
Yeah. Okay. No, you can curse. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. This is I can make
how
I try to censor myself on
you know how it's a good YouTube video?
Yeah.
When they ban it, won't advertise it because we're cursing. Then you know it's good.
Excellent. Well done.
But there's a ton of cats hanging on clothesline videos that you can watch.
Hang in there. So anyhow, having zero fucks to give is definitely difficult. And I do think, it's like, it's like me. It's not that maybe so much I don't care about some things, but first of all, I understand that I can't control them. And it's not just a matter of like intellectually understanding something. You have to actually implement it, right? It's like everybody intellectually understands eat less, exercise more,
spend less than you make, right?
But implementing it. So as part of implementing it, though, you do have to, I think, have some kind of outlet. For me, of course, my outlet's the podcast. And so I can go on there and I spend 54 minutes and 20 seconds frothing at the mouth and yelling at the internet. And then for the remaining 23 hours of the day, I can walk around and not care. And I just want to clarify on something what I said about the kids is I think if you have children,
you're fucked.
Well, it's not you're fucked. You've got to care about the world those kids are going to go into. That's why I don't think you can check out. That's why I say if you have children, you can't have zero fucks to give unless you literally Hitler hate your children, because most people want their children to have a better world. And so if you've got kids, you can't do this unless you're a sociopath or something.
I don't know if I agree that most parents, I think most parents just fucking spit out kids and then think about it after. But let's just assume your idealistic word. Right.
Let's say that most means 50.1% or something.
You're very optimistic. You were talking about me being
optimistic.
You're talking about me being optimistic. That's what
exactly.
Another thing I was going to introduce to this not so young man. He's 63, which I feel ashamed that I'm trying to give advice to a 63-year-old. Not to criticize him for not having the wisdom or all that other stuff, but the fact he has 63 years of life and I have 45 years of life is you cannot deny your history, your past. That is what's formed you. That's what's conditioned your mind to be in the state that it currently is. And what I've realized is just how much lies and propaganda, conscious or not, that went into forming your expectations. And that's a huge thing that I have getting over, though I think I've let go of it now. I still have idealism, like the way the world ought to be. Why the F are you doing bleep, bleep, and bleep while you're ruining your life? But this idealism that I think is not only a byproduct of your past, because it forms like, this is what I think, this is what I want, here are my preferences. But let's not discount also the genetic legacy that everybody has within them. Where let me ask you this great one. You ever meet a girl where for no rational reason whatsoever, you're like, oh my God, I want to marry you. Like there's just immediate. And I'm not talking she's hot or cute. I mean, we all have that, but there was like, she's got this chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I think they're like, you're thousands, literally thousands of generations in the past. Your father, your great-great-grandfather, great-great-great, going all the way back. Somewhere along that line was 1, 2, 5, maybe 100 instances where that guy found this girl and it was so passionate, so powerful that made it into the DNA. Like this is a full chromosome or whatever. I don't know how DNA works, but it's part of your hardwired programming. So you have the psychological predisposition to want an ideal, to want a reality, to want an optimal outcome. Then there's your conscious life. That's just your genetic programming to want something to survive or enjoy a happy life. Then there's what you've experienced and what you were programmed and trained with, be it media, teachers, professors, school, all this other stuff. And it all makes sense on paper. And then when you're dumped into the real world, you realize just what an utter shithole humanity is. And that what you thought you saw on TV, I don't remember Knight Rider. You're probably a little old for Knight Rider.
I remember Knight Rider. I remember existing. I don't think I ever watched an episode, but I know what it is.
Well, Michael Knight, there was this secretary. I forget her name. She was hot. I was like, damn. I was like maybe 7 or 8. I didn't know. I want that. I don't know why, but I wanted it. But that's TV. That's not going to happen. Then you're dumped out into the real world. And you realize that the average guy is this fat, Mountain Dew swilling troll loser. The average girl is this, 100. What's the average girl? 5'5" and 165 pounds?
Probably.
No, it is. Like they did a study, like the average woman now in the United States is 165 pounds. It's like, what? And that is a huge hurdle to overcome because you have your genetic hardwired programming telling you this is what you want. This is what life is about. And it's passionate and this is visceral and you're excited. And then you see the television and the movies and the things and the stuff like, oh my God, I can't wait. And then you are dumped out into the real world, which is Walmart. which is like when you lose at Price is Right. Bah, 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 bah. And I think that is a huge thing to overcome, is that your expectations genetically and conditioned environmentally were never in line with what's going to be delivered to you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, glad we agree on that small, minor philosophical point. Okay, moving on.
Moving on. It was okay. Yeah.
My point was with the guy is it's like every person, every man and woman is programmed to expect more than what society can deliver. And once you realize that, it allows you to bring back your expectations in line with reality.
Right. Okay. Well, all right. So as humans, I think most of us, we want to achieve excellence, right?
We do.
Okay. Just give me a minute here.
Okay. All right. Everybody wants to achieve excellence. Yes.
No. Give me a minute. Let me finish this there. If you look at animals, right? Most animals are trying to, you got a lion over there. The lion wants to be the best lion it can be. Okay. They're striving. You got a badger. The badger wants to be the best badger. The opossum wants. Humans, before, we will not spend hours talking about how the state has destroyed us, but before the state started breeding lazy parasitical people, humans, most of the time, wanted to be the best kind of human they could be. So the kind of people who are looking at the decline and, he wants to figure out, how do you have ZFGs? How do you check out? Okay, this is a person who wants to be the best person he can be, but he is surrounded by all of these forces that are trying to stop him from being the best person that he can be. And this is going to cause a lot of internal mental anguish and pain, physical pain, whatever, until you either figure out how to work your way around that, or you let go of it, or whatever. But again, checking out and having zero fucks to give is difficult, because that's not what people are naturally inclined to do. People are naturally inclined to improve themselves and improve their lives and improve their world and to make progress and create things, especially us men, because that's what we do. We solve problems, we build things, we create things. We want to get to the top of the hill. We want to go to the moon. We want to build a taller skyscraper. We want to compete. And then when you're sitting there going, oh my God, the decline is happening and everything is screwed up, and how do I check out of this? You're going against your natural tendencies to not check out. Your natural tendencies is to check in and do more and create more and fix things.
Right. And I think it gets back to the genetics, and you have every biological urge screaming at you to continue on. And what it boils down with a lot of things is, dieting, whatever, losing weight. You got to listen to your frontal cortex only and make the conscious decision. And I think you also have to give up hope. I think that's another thing. I mean, there's everything's like pushing you biologically, genetically, like, go, do, da, and oh my God. And then you have a vested interest in it because you're investing in it, because you have nothing else to invest in. We really got to strap on our frontal cortexes here and be above the monkeys and say, wait a minute. This is not worth it. This is not worth my time to invest in. And it really requires a strong intellect, or almost a soullessness, to divorce yourself from any investment in society and say, since this environment is toxic, this is bad, this is not worth it, and all these people are going to die, and they're going to live miserable lives, I don't want to be a part of it. It really is an exercise in sentience and consciousness than it is biology and all that. You have to override your biology, you have to override your genetics, and kind of look at that. And then, because let's admit it, now you almost have to be like a robot. A sentient robot, but a robot. But you're going to give up love. You're going to give up belonging. You're going to give up tribalism. You're going to give up community, because you don't want to be part of this community anymore. And thank God for the internet, because you can find weirdos like you and me out there. But man, it's almost the ultimate testament of human independence and intellect, for what few rare people would say, fuck this shit. This is wrong. This is not acceptable. I don't care what the tribe is doing. And not only that, but fuck the tribe on top of it. Like, I'm done. I'm not. You have to almost view the tribe, view your environment as the enemy for what it's become, to at least have the self-respect and appreciate and at least make your finite life on this planet count. I mean, so that's maybe the moral argument I'm trying to make is like, yeah, I guess you can go with these conformists, and everything is screaming at you to go ahead and do it.
Right.
But if you do it, there's going to be a piece of you in the back of your mind where you're like, this is it. And so as a Stoic, as someone who wants to achieve contentment, you can't deny that reality. You have to realize that the environment and the people pretty much they're not your conscious enemy. They're like the Borg, or I guess the zombies. They don't know. All they know is to eat brains.
Right.
But you have to acknowledge that reality so that what of your finite conscious life on this planet exists is based in reality. And at least you have that before you pass away.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this is definitely having to override, because another thing I thought of as you're talking, as humans, we are social animals. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big chunk of where you get the herd mentality from and how you can control groups of people. And so again, our natural inclination, because as humans, we can't survive long on our own. We want to be part of a society,
right.
A civilization. And so we have this tendency to, okay, let me go along with the people around me to be part of the society. And that's another thing that when our society is, well, like what it is right now, which we don't have the time to list all of it, right. But we all know what it is, right? When your society is like that, you've got to consciously,
hop on a lifeboat in the Titanic.
Yeah.
The society is sinking. This is not sustainable. You're one of the few people say, fuck, I'm grabbing a lifeboat.
Right. I got to get out of here.
Yeah. I got to get out.
Again, you're overriding what your biology and your lizard brain wants to do.
Well, I'm glad that we solved that. I'm glad that we solved it. It's all that's all you have to do. You just have to literally rip yourself out of society. Ignore every biological urge you have. Think only critically and stoically about things and be a robot so they can actually be the independent human that I see. Because here's the other thing. There he is. But he's 63 years old. And the previous client I had, I wish the last 10 or 20 years of his life, however long he's going to live, don't let the bastards get you down kind of thing. This was never your society. These people rejected you and rebuked you, so fuck them. And I'm really working hard because society, frankly, has treated me like shit. I don't mean that will always be. No, I was bullied as a fucking kid because I was small, and these guys are pussies. That's how they are. They always got to pick on the small kid. I've been lectured about how bad I am because of my race and my gender. I was lied to about what works and what doesn't. Boomer bought. I mean, the list goes on, and many other people have shared this. A lot of people say, let go and forgive and let go of the anger. No, I think the path to freedom is through the anger. So for the 63-year-old guy, he must have been fucked up. People must have betrayed him. His daughter maybe went and majored and then lectured him at Christmas about being an evil white man. I don't even know if he's white, but whatever. There must have been ample bits of instances or his entire environment where all the environment and society, which is mentally ill, I'd say, by the way, has rebuked him and rejected him and lectured him and scathed him. And so the only way to override that genetics, this is my team, this is my society, say, fuck them. You guys treated me like shit. Go fuck yourself. And to take that hatred and that abuse or the lies or any kind of transgression you had about on you in the past is to now remember that, turn it around and say, fuck you fuckers. You're going to burn. And it may be a lonely life. It may be you're not going to have a lot of friends, but I'm really trying to enjoy the decline, enjoy the show, and watch these people suffer, even though you're like, why? We could have done so much more and launched people to Mars. I don't know what your view on that is with this hatred element.
Yeah. Thanks for getting me started. Okay, so here's something that has truly helped me check out.
Okay.
When I was a kid, right, I was going to be an astronaut. We're going to go to space, all this other stuff. And now I'm here and I'm looking around. Where's the moon base? Where's the space program? Where is all of this stuff? Okay.
Big-titted redhead, right. And
I'm sure, I'm sure somebody can, counterpoint this. I don't care. What if we'd have taken all the money we've spent on, welfare and dropping bombs on foreign countries and foreign aid. What if we spent all that on the space program? We could be in space right now. We could have the things that I dreamed about when I was a kid. But now I'm here. I see we don't have a moon base. We don't have a space station. We got
diversity programs at universities, though.
Right. But we've got all this horse shit which has taken its place. And my hatred for the people who have put all this horse shit in the place of what I wanted is fucking unmeasurable. And that's one of the things that helps me get through it. Every day I look around me, and what I do not see is the things that could have been here if parasitical pieces of shit were dead.
I am also training my eye to see things that I normally wouldn't. And one of those is how the leftists in general got everything they wanted, and they're still fucking mental. They're still miserable.
And they still want more. They still don't have enough.
Right. And now they're burning their own neighborhood, which I don't understand at all. And we're not talking the black neighborhood, by the way, in Minneapolis. It's a disproportionately white neighborhood that they burnt, but with plenty of diversity. And they were all leftists. They all that. And I know this isn't the answer that our 63-year-old client wanted, but this is like basically the best you're going to get. There is balance, there is comeuppance. I know everybody hates it when a single mom of 5 crotch fruit gets your money, but imagine being the single mom with crotch fruit. I know you all get sick and tired of women just having their dick sucked the entire time about how amazing and brave they are. You just came out of your mother's strong and brave. Didn't do a fucking thing, but then at the same time, and I see this very painfully clearly now, they're all miserable 40-something women that are barren and they don't have kids they want to have kids, and nobody's going to marry them. It's in other words, what I'm trying to point out, to achieve Stoicism and Zen beyond this is not what I wanted. Well, you were never going to get what you wanted anyway. But what is on the menu? And that's kind of what it is. We've gone to this restaurant. This is the only restaurant in town. And these are the only things on the menu. And maybe you didn't want any of these things on the menu. Maybe you didn't want to watch any of the movies being shown in the theater, but that's what's showing. But in the meantime, you're the one who gets to watch the show. You're the one that gets to eat that meal. Every one of these, I don't want to bring politics into this, leftists, but people in general who believe the lie and are wasting their time. That's the entertainment. That's your sandwich you get to order. That's what's on the show. That's what's being on the play on stage right now, is these fucking idiots who called you isms, beat you up, lie to you about jobs. All these fucking veritable criminals, these scumbag humans who in one way or another ultimately were driven by laziness and thought there was an easy way out, and so they followed that. Now, for those of you like our 63-year-old friend, you're the great one, do you spend less than you make?
I do.
Oh my God. I wonder how, oh my God, what a crazy. Here's another one that really doesn't have much to do with politics, because Republicans, quote unquote, are just the same. All these fuckwits who didn't save any money for a rainy day, these conservative people and liberal ones too. But like, I'm talking out in the suburbs, keeping up with the Joneses, living paycheck to paycheck. They're all fucked. What's on the menu is for those of us who had the strength, the true intellectual strength to be intellectually honest and make the hard choices, spend less than we made, follow and be honest with ourselves, follow principles and rules. Now we get to watch this fuckery where they're in such pain. And that is where I find a disproportionate amount of solace and Zen and Stoicism and contentment. Watching these fuckers who claim they were right, they are superior, better people, fucking die on the vine and writhe in pain because of their own mistakes.
Mm-hmm. I too take great pleasure in knowing that these people are going to suffer the consequences of their actions. However, I would caution people, speaking as someone who has achieved complete Zen, I would caution people from spending too much time, sitting around and focusing on that and enjoying that. Here's my analogy to that, which I've talked about in just a teaser. For those of you who listen to my podcast, this is coming up in the future, this same topic. It's like the atheist who can't shut up about God. It's like, okay, so this God you don't believe in, and he's the center of your life.
You tune into the blackbrigade.org, you tune into DT?
No, it's
never mind. No, I'm sorry. Go on.
You talk about God all the time. Yeah. All right. So it's kind of the same thing. It's like, look, yes, I see the leftists and the feminists. They're all suffering the consequences of their own stupidity. That's great. And I acknowledge that. And yes, I chuckle about it now and then. But I'm saying to achieve the Zen, that right there, I don't think you can't make that the center of your life, right? No. If you're the person who's enjoying the decline and you're constantly focused on the suffering of feminists, well, now you're just making feminism the center of your life.
Right.
To enjoy the decline, to achieve the Zen, you have to focus on making the best out of your life that you can make, however that's defined. Like for me, that's waking up at 5:30 in the morning and getting on my bike and going out and going biking and trail running and actually saw a couple of cute girls today too. And, doing all of that and just not caring about what's burning today and where the National Guard is and all this other stuff. And, not being the atheist who can't shut up about God.
Well, and if you put other people at your core, like you're a reactionary and you have no core. And so I totally enjoy, only because all my life it's been assholes lying to me and tell me how bad of a person I am. And now I get to see these assholes suffer. So that is a huge part of my enjoyment. But at the same time, you're right. You cannot make that. That's not you. You are no longer a sentient person if it's, only if this thing exists and I can focus on this injustice that you need to move on and go ahead and do something. So since this gentleman is 63, he only has a certain amount of years left on this planet. And as I've talked to you and I want to make changes and you maybe learn to relax and chill out. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to be pissed off. I don't want to be enraged. I don't want to be agitated. So I want to go and do it. And so you have your trail running, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What and then what else? I mean, you got a ton of. You actually have a life. Someone comes to meet you no girl's going to meet you on a dating profile because, you don't make the 6 figs. You're 6 foot. You got 6 pack.
6 foot tall.
Yeah, but you ain't got the 6 figs. But absent, see, and there again. Oh my God, a woman. What is the great one do? Like when you pass away, what will you have achieved? What will people say about you?
Hell if I know.
Well, you hiked, right? You went out. You a trail runner, right?
Well, I'll probably just say I was racist, sexist, and homophobic because that's, But I mean,
let me rephrase it. Fuck what other people say about you. What would you say about you? What can you point to say that your life wasn't wasted?
Different because when you have ZFGs and someone asks you, "What are other people going to say about you?" I don't care. Right? I don't care. It doesn't matter. What I say about myself is that I made the best of what I had. I enjoyed myself as much as I could. I spent as much time outdoors as possible. I read books. I smoked cigars. I drank martinis. I yelled at the internet occasionally, and I just freaking enjoyed myself.
Right. And that's the whole thing is, I know we are born into a tribe. We're born into a race, the human race, and everything we're dependent on. But inevitably, you just got to say, I don't care what any of you think. It's only what I care about, which I know starts to then run on the side of cat lady, fuck what the world thinks. I'm an independent woman, don't need no man. But I think if you've gone through the trials and tribulations, you've pursued women, you've gone through the and then you come to the point where it's like the best investment of time is within myself and what I want to do. And then when you're dying, and this is the thing, not terribly proud of everything I've done, but one of the things I was proud about or happy about is when I thought I had my cancer. Well, I did have a cancer scare, but when I thought that was all happening, I'm like, well, for the 45 years I was here, I kicked a lot of ass. I did X, Y, and Z, and there's an individual, when this person dies, whether society realizes it or not, you yourself, though, you've accomplished and done these things. And so that's what I would recommend to the 63-year-old and anybody else listening, that fuck what society thinks. You did these things that you were happy about, so that when you're on your deathbed, you had no regrets. You said, no, I did all this stuff. And I would imagine the same thing would be with you. I'm sure you have other items on your bucket list, but you don't do what society cares. You don't care what society thinks. But if you were to pass away or find out your early demise is coming, would you have any major regrets?
I don't think, no, I don't think so. I mean, I certainly have regrets. I mean, they wouldn't change. I mean, sure, there's lots of things I regret as it is, but no, I don't think so.
Right. And those would probably be mistakes. Oh, I shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. But, oh, God, I never did. You've trailed run. You went out. I think another thing that, people think a hobby has to be something physical or active. I would also say there's an intellectual hobby of just not being a fucking leftist. I mean, right? I'm being deadly serious. That's not only a hobby, that's a genuine intellectual accomplishment. You get all this brainwashing from 5 years old to 25.
God, yeah.
I mean, and you're like, wow, I was one of the true independent, like, oh, wow, you're another 25-year-old girl who believes in socialism and you just need things and stuff and crap that is, I mean, I can't even repeat it because it's so boring, so non-intellectual. Right. But to be an independent human, to actually like, wow, I'm a sentient human being. The rest of you really are like, gazelles or apes or monkeys compared to me because you don't think. You just want to fling your poo at one another.
Yeah, that's definitely true. May sound arrogant or something, but I don't care. I mean, I do consider myself what's the phrase? I consider myself a rational thinker. I look at things and analyze it, and the spiel I've given plenty of times before. But everyone, I've gone through all the phases. I've been the Christian, I've been the atheist, I've been the leftist, I've been the Democrat, I've been the Republican, I've been the libertarian. I watched the news for hours a day. I listened to Rush Limbaugh. I've gone through all the phases. I've sorted through all of this stuff, and I've ended up where I am because of thinking.
Right, because you chose to think.
Yes, right. It's not, oh yeah, I was born into a Christian family and my parents voted Democrat, and thus, I carry on and I do what they did. Right. I've gone down all those paths. I've analyzed all this stuff, and I've ended up where I've ended up through thinking and logic and reason. Well, and a little bit of anger.
Yeah. And you know what? You're going to be angry no matter what, whether you're a highly intelligent person, somebody who's in shape, or you're just not the rank leftist that everyone programmed you, because you're going to look at society, they're going to hate your guts because that's what they're conditioned to. I mean, you will really have a resentment towards society. And no matter how angry it makes you, but at the same time, it's so nice. It is I wouldn't say it's a luxury good. It's an earned luxury. It's an earned, luxurious experience, perhaps the best experience, to be a truly sentient, independent-minded human being. Yes. Where you just walk through the masses of people. And I know a lot of people that walk through a party like, I can be alone at a party. Yeah, because they're fucking morons around you. They are NPCs. To not be an NPC unto itself, fine, you didn't make a lick of good of difference. No one listened to you. Everybody hated your guts. At least you were independent-minded. At least you were, like, when you were born and you had to go through trials and tribulations, you woke the fuck up and achieved, I'd say, a higher level of consciousness than the vast, vast majority of people have today. And so be thankful for that, and at least to have the knowledge. Again, because your average, let me ask you something, great one. Mm-hmm. The average single mom, why is she po?
Because she can't afford the children.
No. In her mind, why is she po?
Oh, well, because men are oppressing her. Right. She'd have a much better job making more money, but see, the patriarchy is holding her down.
And the patriarchy, right. Yes. And so she works as her, hair salonist, nail job. Yeah. With 3 crotch fruit along the way. All right. Does she ever get, does she, to the 63-year-old client, do you want to be her? Could you imagine what it's like being her? You can hate on these people. I even had some exchanges with some, I presume black, that's what their images look like, but these are black Minneapolitans. And all I asked is, why are you destroying your own city? And they were giving me excuses that were like, to make a statement. Well, why can't you make the statement in voting or protesting? Why are you throwing bricks through the pharmacy that your grandmother relies on for her meds? Well, you don't understand, Whitey. It's like, no. Yeah. You don't know. But then I realized I'm talking to a rock. Right. I'm talking to a bluegill fish.
Exactly.
You can hate what's happening around you. You can see the insanity, but do you want to be that black kid where you are so fucked in the head, you're throwing rocks through your neighbor's window and burning down the local bar your old man wants to go to?
And somehow you think this is going to like, oh, I'm really going to show those police. I'm going to throw a brick through the window at AutoZone. Yeah, take that, cop.
I'm going to show the patriarch. Yeah. So here, this is why I wrote the article, Sanity is the Future of Wealth, is there are so few people who are going to be sane, who have the intellectual strength and courage, the real courage, to tell the leftist teachers and professors to fuck off with their indoctrination. That makes no fucking sense. Who makes the work? Who makes the food? Who makes the stuff? That when you attain that, it may suck. Like, oh, okay, I'm trying to think. We're letting a bunch of immigrants in that have more children they can afford, and they go on welfare. That's true. Okay, the system's going to collapse because we're going to have more parasites than we do producers because people believe in magic dirt, and the native population as well is becoming more parasitic. This is going to suck. At least I know I'm not the Latina whose mom came here illegally to have the child so she could attain residency or citizenship, who on her quinceañera is already pregnant and whose life is fucking over at that time. And you are condemned to a life of poverty, misery, and above all, mental pain, because your pride and ego will not ever let you say, yeah, I fucked up. I had a kid way too early than when I should have. And so even though I guess the world around me is going to shit, I don't have to suffer that because I know better. At least I know. Oh, fine. They're going to come for me. I might end up in a hail of bullets and gunfire. At least I knew to smoke cigars and go hiking with you and have a good old life. But I'm no single mom. I'm no deadbeat dad. I don't have a baby mama. I don't have to go to court. And so simply just avoiding mistakes and appreciating the fact that you know what's going on, that unto itself, I think, is a luxury good that the truly sentient, conscious people or the aware people enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to avoiding mistakes, because we've all made mistakes, just admit your mistakes, accept them. If you can fix it, fix it. I mean, if it's something you can't fix, then let it go. But, don't sit around in denial and be like, instead of saying, oh, I tripped and fell down the stairs and landed on a man's dick and accidentally got pregnant.
Happens all the time.
I made a mistake. I had sex with this guy unprotected. I didn't get an abortion. I had a kid I can't afford. It's kind of screwed up my life. Okay, just accept it. Admit it. Be honest about it. And, okay, there's not much you can do about it. But at least, once again, you're freeing it to believe this thing that you accidentally got pregnant. You're constantly having to commit some part of your brain to telling yourself that lie over and over and
for the rest of your life.
And this is the thing, because when I got a list over here that we may or may not get hit to, but when you accept all of reality and truth, including your mistakes and when you accept everything around you as it truly is, this frees up your brain, because you don't have to tell yourself the lies over whatever the lies are. You don't have to tell yourself these lies over and over and over all day. And suddenly your brain is free to think about philosophy and economics and
make more practical decisions that will affect them. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. No, it's very much like seeing, I don't know if you remember the movie The Matrix, where Neo wakes up and he all of a sudden sees all the bits and bytes and the ones and zeros.
When he sees the code. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the truth,
where I'm
guys.
At. Yeah. I've seen the code.
Right. And I've also seen the code. The code isn't fun or sexy. It's actually sad and depressing, but at least you'll make real decisions in the real world. Or at minimum, let's say you don't want, like, you throw in the towel, you just want to collect the government check. At least at least. Like, for example, I think a great amount of torture and agony for men comes in, well, why can't I get the girls? Because that's what you're programmed to have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And when you let go of this, like, oh, yeah, there's going to be this June Cleaver who's got a nice set of cans but dresses appropriately and is a monster in bed, and the white pick. When you realize, no, the chances of you finding a non-rank Marxist, feminist, anti-male woman in today's age without student loan debt, when because it takes courage to acknowledge the code is there, because truth sucks. Let's just admit, truth fucking sucks. The truth is, most of you are not going to find somebody to fall in love with and have children with and have a family. The truth is, the counter truth for women that's just as harsh is no guy gives a shit about your fucking career and lose the fucking weight. That's the no. I don't care what you want. Men don't want fat chicks. Now, women have to make a courageous, not only belief, but a commitment that, well, if I want to find a man, the reality is I have to commit myself to a life of part-time work, a job I never wanted, hitting the treadmill and not eating for shit, or not eating shit. But it may not be what you want, but I guarantee you your life is going to be better if you accept the harsh realities than constantly get addicted to these drugs in the form of lies. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know how many boomer women have had their lives fucked up. And I mean, completely wasted, completely destroyed because of what Oprah told them 30 years ago.
Exactly.
And well, it's funny, but it's sad at the same. How many young millennial and Gen X and Gen Z women majored in stupid shit thinking their career was the number one thing? And I mean, really think about that. They want to believe that they could find happiness without being selfless or committing to a guy. And now they got great careers, I guess.
Yeah.
They got a nice pair of shoes, right? Hope those shoes hug them back. They
got a bunch of shoes.
Yeah, a bunch of shoes.
Hey, I'm going to walk away for 20 seconds and refill my coffee.
Should we take a break? Let's take a break. Okay. I'm going to take a pee. And let's get to your list because I want to know about your list. All
right, let's do it.
I'm here. You back, great one? No, he's not. Let's go through the super chats real quick while we're here so I don't waste any of your guys' money. DJ Aftershock for $2. I have another cousin who was trying to get at MSW. What's an MSW? Masters of Science and Wishful Thinking. What do we got there? Kevin McComber, resident socialist. Thoughts on the bell curve? It exists. It's real. It's a statistical concept. Statistical reality. Great one's flushing the toilet. What do you mean, Kevin? What's my thoughts on it? What do you mean, what's my thoughts on the bell curve? What? Is there an opinion to have on it? It exists. What? Scrolling more. I think that's all. Oh, we got more super chats. Hang on. Great one's coming back in.
All right. Hopefully you got my toilet flushing again.
Yeah, I'm going through some super chats real quick here so we don't lose out because people are kind enough to give us money. And I don't like that. But everyone, hold off on your super chats until the end. And your comments as well. Kevin McComber, $2, 13 doing 50. I don't know what that means. Atham L. Deck, our good buddy Atham. Anger is underrated. Harness you hate. Anger is underrated.
Harness your hate. Make it useful.
Make it useful. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. I completely agree. You're going to have anger. Channel your anger in a way that's useful.
Like using periods so that people who read your super chats know, anger is underrated, period. Harness your hate and make it useful. See? Just a tip for our Latino brothers and sisters out there.
You know, maybe we could have schooled him on that if he'd have gone hiking with us in Utah.
He's a master at Stoicism too. He went through some fucking hell, man. And Atham, I probably should have had him on too. Kevin for $2, download Nick Fuentes on D Live and listen to it. Okay. If you guys want to listen to the 12-year-old boy. I don't like Nick Fuentes. I don't hate him personally, but I tried to hey, I got some books that you should advertise on your show. Never got back to me. Fuck that guy then. Nonstop Dre 360 for $5. What helped me achieve stoicism and Zen is becoming indifference towards everything out of my control except my actions, thoughts, and perspective. And that is the epitome of stoicism.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. And it's hard. It's not like you just flip a switch.
It is.
And there you go. Yeah. I mean, a perfect example is you'll see. Let me show you an example. Obviously, I drive a lot, and there's been more than one instance where I'll see a gal stranded on the side of the road. Not necessarily good looking, just a female stranded on the side of the road. What do?
Keep driving?
You keep driving.
Absolutely.
Why? There's many reasons why.
There's many.
But why would you keep going?
Well, let's see. I would keep going because, first of all, she might falsely accuse me of rape. Secondly, statistically speaking, she's a leftist. She's voted to take away my freedom, my
increase
money,
our
and
slavery.
my guns.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, she probably believes that putting a piece of cloth over your face makes you immune to viruses, and so she's one of the herd that is currently attempting to infringe upon my First Amendment right to assembly. So if she is, statistically speaking, she is probably my enemy.
Probably.
You do not aid and abet the enemy.
Here's one that's
called
even
treason.
Here's one that's even more simple. Not my problem.
Well,
Why am I going to complicate my life? Why? What good is going to come of it? She probably has other people taking care. She's not going to die. Me helping her is not going to change the outcome. Why would I even waste my time? She has friends. She has a network. She has a cell phone. I need not. She has a beta orbiter. They'll come in and buy her a new car. You know, I will not affect this system. The system will take it. My participation or not will be irrelevant to the outcome. And so that's another among the many that you pointed out. Like, yeah, she likely hates you, not consciously, but she votes against your best interests and increases your slavery percentage. Right. So there's that too. But and then by the way, I'm probably told I'm an evil sexist. All right, fine, bye. I'm done. So the political, psychological reasons I have, but in a true Stoic sense, my participation in that system will not change the outcome. She will be just fine. And why waste my time? So that's why I move on. I think we're done with, no, we're not. All right, hold off on super chats and general chats, guys. We'll get to this at the end. Let me just go nonstop. Dre, happiness equals reality divided by expectations. What does that mean, Gray? You know what that means?
Happiness, reality divided by expectations.
The more expectations you have, the less happiness. That's what it mathematically translates to me.
Well, reality divided. Yeah, I think I see that.
Set expectations to 0, right?
Oh, yeah, that's on my list.
So if your expectations are 0, your happiness is infinite.
Exactly.
Okay, there we go. No, that's what it is. Very mathematically. No shock because Dre is an engineer major. But wait, can blacks be engineer majors? Great one. Is that possible?
Sure, they absolutely. Some of them can.
No. He needs to go get a degree in African American grievance studies and then become a professor. Yeah.
And throw a brick through a window.
And throw a brick through the window, given to my white Antifa member.
Yeah.
Kevin McCober, $1.99. He doesn't do ads, but listen to it. Well, then too bad for him. Nonstop Dre 360. This video is sponsored by Oprah and feminism. No, this video is not sponsored by Oprah and feminism. None of them would have anything. I wonder if Oprah like has guilt. You think Oprah's got guilt for all the lies she's told women, or she just like, you know, wipe her tears with $1,000 bills and
yeah, she knows what's up.
She knows what she heard. Paul Krugman know exactly what they did to boomers.
They know what they're doing. Yeah.
DJ Aftershock, $2. Masters in social work equals empowerment. What the fuck does that mean?
What are you going to do with empowerment?
What is empowerment? What are women not empowered to do?
Right.
Like, oh no, you couldn't vote. You couldn't buy a car. You couldn't go to college. What the fuck are you? Oh, now you're empowered. Oh, thank you. Because beforehand I was a quadriplegic. I couldn't do anything. What are they? I never understood this word. Like, and imagine going back to the original theme of this discussion and the request of the client. Could you imagine? Look, obviously women or people in general who say, I'm finally empowered to X, Y, and Z. That's got to drive this 63-year-old nuts. But again, to the 63-year-old, what if you're so fucking mental, you think you're not empowered, or you think, now I'm empowered. Like, you know, the empowerment fairy just comes in and playing with her magic fairy wand of empowerment. You are now empowered. To think, to be that mentally ill, that's what it is. You're that mentally ill. Mm-hmm. You don't think you have the freedom to do things. And then what? Some fucktard leftist Marxist socialist professor says, you're empowered. I'm empowered. And you don't know that. I mean, imagine what kind of insanity and what kind of life that must be. But don't cheer in there. Don't chime in at all. Great one. I
was leaving some room there for people to imagine. It's just, no, I mean, I don't know. I have nothing to follow. It's one of these things I call nebulous words. It has a definition or something, but it doesn't mean anything. Sure. I mean, yeah, you're right. Empowerment. What does that really mean? And no one can tell you. No one knows. It's just something.
It's a lie is what it is.
This is what's called ZFG. It's like you see the word empowerment. I don't care. Yeah. It's okay, great. Go empower yourself.
Go do. Get the fuck out of.
Yeah, just go away.
I'm empowering women. What? Okay, that we're all caught up. All right, what's your list? I'm kind of curious about this list that you have.
All right, let me whip up this list. Unfortunately, it's not as organized as it could be, but
I'm more concerned about getting the ideas out there more than anything else to help this man and anybody else interested in achieving Zen, Stoicism, and I wouldn't say happiness, but contentment.
Yeah, because we have a lot of happiness is not necessarily a thing. You're not here to be happy. Right. You can't expect to be happy all the time. That's definitely something you should not be expecting. Right. All right. But anyhow, so I was thinking about this question. I was thinking about, because I mean, we've been talking about the philosophy behind it and mindset and all this other stuff, but what about actual practical, actionable concepts? So here's what I would say to the client.
This is how you achieve it, right?
This is how I achieve it. This is stuff that I pulled out of my own experience. Right. Okay. Start meditating. And I know that meditation, the hippy dippy college girls who want to be yoga teachers have given it a bad name.
Namaste and all that shit.
Yeah. But in meditating, you learn to control your thoughts. And learning to control your thoughts is going to help you achieve ZFG. Because if your thoughts, again, we've been talking this whole time about anger and your thoughts, having to lie to yourself all the time. So just meditate. Another thing is practice mindfulness. Living in the moment. Always be aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it, because this will help you start to see when you're doing herd behavior or when you're thinking for yourself, so forth and so on.
Would that entail when we were hiking, you would look at the water or take your time hiking, and meanwhile I got an objective? So we have two different hiking philosophies, but that is that what it is, where it's like, look at this stream, look at this cliff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the context of the hiking, and I do this when I'm trail running too, I'll just stop and just look around, because, never again are you in that mindset going to be standing in that place, and that water is going to be right there, and that cloud is going to be over there?
Right.
Yeah, it's a thing that's never, everything is finite. And this is a finite thing. It's never going to happen again. Just stand there and think about it for a minute and just enjoy it and realize I've got this. No one else can experience this. And then, I mean, so another practical aspect of the mindfulness thing, without giving the whole backstory, I'm on a diet right now. I'm reducing the amount of food I'm eating. Okay. So what normally, if you're in the kitchen and you're cooking, right, you're preparing your food, it's perfectly natural. Like as you're preparing the food, you take some food and you pop it in your mouth and you eat it. But when you're being mindful of what you're doing, suddenly I became aware, oh, I eat a lot of food. Or like every time I'd go to the refrigerator to grab a cold drink, the chocolate is right there. So, oh, I'd grab a freaking piece of chocolate also. And so when you become mindful and you pay attention to what you're doing all the time, you see yourself doing this stuff and you can make a conscious choice. Am I going to grab that piece of chocolate and eat another 200 calories? Or am I going to not eat the piece of chocolate because it's more important for me to not be fat?
Right.
So being mindful of what you're doing all the time has a shit tons of benefits.
Could you say mindfulness is like the resolution of life? Like you have a high definition resolution. Is it 780? Is it 4K? And the more mindful you are, the more you pick up in life. Like you have a finer filter and you're paying attention, you appreciate more.
Maybe in a sense, because mindfulness, kind of strictly speaking, isn't so much about what's outside of you. It's about paying attention to what you're doing. It's about not running on autopilot.
Okay.
It's about just, it's about doing one thing at a time. You're not trying to multitask. And like when you're drinking your coffee, you're just thinking about drinking the coffee. You're paying attention to the coffee. You're not like drinking your
just
coffee.
Just shooting into your veins and off to something
right.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. So I think that's the best way I can explain it right now.
Well, I've tried, I mean, just to give the, the audience, because everyone thinks I'm the funny horse and pony show and like, look at Clary Flail about, but I did earlier today. I sat outside and I had my water and I put the phone away and all that. And another thing is it takes practice. Like you got to make this you have to make this a routine and a habit to really appreciate it. Otherwise you're just like, I'm doing this because you're now it's a task. It is no longer, well, it never was, a change in behavior. Now it is a task. It's an obligation. Whereas you want this to be a change within behavior that becomes permanent and a background running daemon. Like you don't even notice it's happening. It's just part of who you are now.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's very good explanation. I wish I'd have thought of it that way.
Well, you're not the only great one.
Yeah.
I went. Yeah. No, it's okay, great one. I went to the Carlson School of Management. So I know everything.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, that's where you get the. Yeah.
Okay. So anyhow, meditating and mindfulness that will help you out a lot. They're difficult, but it'll get you through it. Okay. Next, cultivate internal validation. You've got to actively shift your focus from external validation to internal validation. The more, and as humans, we all, again, human nature, we want external validation. We crave external validation. I don't think anybody can ever completely free themselves of external validation, but the less external validation you want, the less external validation you need, the better off you're going to be.
Could we delineate this from the feminist concept of self-love, where you just love yourself because you exist? Like internal validation to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, indicates that, okay, how could I put it? Self-love on the feminist spectrum of this is you exist, so you're amazing and deserve to be loved. Mm-hmm. I would presume with your concept of self-validation is it's not just you exist, you're validated, you're amazing, but you have developed on your own personal level a set of standards. Like, I will not be fat. I will produce money. I will not live off of welfare. I will not be parasitic. I will achieve some kind of creativity or legacy or accomplishment in my life. So self-validation, as long as you meet those goals that you set upon yourself, then you are validated. You can't just simply say, well, I exist because my mom and dad fucked and my mom didn't abort me, so I'm validated. I'm assuming there's a little bit more than ignoring what other people say, having value within yourself. But key to that, I would say, is you must actually be valuable and intellectually, honestly so.
Yes, absolutely. Self-validation doesn't, it is more than just, hey, here I am, so I'm perfect.
Right.
Self-validation, I mean, to validate yourself, I mean, I guess in my way of thinking, I mean, to validate yourself, you have to have some kind of standards you're going to validate yourself to. And the self-validation is also, part of not being with the herd, thinking for yourself. So yeah, there's definitely standards involved in it.
Could we also say that with the self-validation, a way to tell if you've achieved that is that when you're dying or about to die, you're like, well, I have no guilt. I have no regrets. I know you've done bad things. I'm saying when a truly self-validated person who has achievements and accomplishments and doesn't care what the herd thinks or external validation, like when you die, you don't care what people say. You could be burned and put into cremation and without a tombstone. You don't care. You did your best. Would we say that would be a good hurdle or a standard to achievement for that?
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right. Next up, and we talked about this a little bit, call things what they truly are. Calling things what they are, or rather calling things what they are not ties up thought process, which could be used for enjoying your finite life. So just, see through the bullshit, call things what they are. Even if you don't like it, call it what it is and then deal with it.
So acknowledging reality.
Acknowledge reality, yeah.
Which leads to mental health.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Wait, great one. Are you saying the women who are all graduating, women with women with degrees, they all have $300,000 in debt with law school mortgage debt, and they can't find a job? Are you saying they're lying to themselves and not acknowledging what is?
Wow, that was. I don't know if I've ever heard anything so misogynistic in my life.
Well, I'm pretty misogynistic.
Are following their passion. They are strong and independent. And
I should not.
You are microaggressing against them right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm going to report this video to YouTube.
Boy, I hate women and minority women because I told them not to major in stupid law school bullshit studies for $300,000. I must really hate the womans. Why would I want them to be happy maybe with a guy and maybe having kids, or maybe they're accountants or engineers or something? I'm sorry, great one. I won't ever be that sexist or racist ever again.
Good. All right, next up. Accept the truth. You don't have to like it, but you do have to accept it.
True. Okay. Well, I'm writing it down.
Okay. Lose the need to have the last word. The need to have the last word is a manifestation of investment in convincing others and needing of external validation. Because this is a problem I had a lot for a long time. Anything, I always need to have the last word. I'd have to get in there. And now I've just learned, like I put something on Twitter the other day. Somebody wrote something stupid about going to the protest and be sure you wear your mask. And I wrote back, I said, yes, be sure you wear your government mandated muzzle to your anti-government protest. And he wrote
Did back, they get it? Did he? What happened?
No, he writes back, fuck you. And there was a time, where I would have needed to respond to this. And there's lots of funny responses we could do. You can write that yourself, or your material or whatever. But it's like, and this is, and once again, I think we spend a lot of time in our life. You can spend a lot of time in your life getting tied up and always having to respond and get the last word and come back at people. And man, and to me, I've realized that to some extent, that's just, first of all, you're tied up. I mean, why are you arguing with someone on Twitter?
That's where I was going. Right.
Why? And I won't. Like, I will go on Twitter and I'll tweet stuff, but anyone who tries to start an argument with me on Twitter is going to be disappointed because I am not investing. I mean, unless she's really cute and I might want to.
Well, you got an ulterior motive there, right?
But I am not investing any of my finite life in something like getting the last word on Twitter. Not going to happen.
I cannot agree with that more, because when you're a young man and because you got testosterone, you got all the energy in the world to chase women and to argue philosophy and morals and principles. But as I've gotten older, well, even more recently, and I caught myself, so I got out of it. But I was arguing with this young black man on Twitter, and he was like all the point I want to make is don't burn up your own neighborhood. And he was arguing against that. And I realized I was the one at fault for thinking I could reason with an NPC. I mean, a piece of brick, a non-entity. Yeah, it is a human. Yes, I wish that human would do what I wish that human would wake up and not destroy his own neighborhood. Then I realized there is no mind there. There's only what the public schools and college has programmed that mind to think. It is not a human being. I literally may be talking to this Lucador mask that I got from Atham. And yes, that is also a way to achieving Zen and happiness, is not wasting your time trying to argue any kind of moral conviction with one person or another. Absolutely.
Right. Because that most people are conditioned to believe what they're going to believe.
Right.
You are not going to fix that. You're not going to change that. And that's, again, when I was younger, I thought, especially way back in the day when I started the podcast, I thought, I could convince people or fix people or whatever.
Wait. You have a podcast?
Yeah, what? A podcast. Who knew? 15 years of podcasting.
15 years.
15 years. All right. Anyhow, let's truck on here. And this kind of follows on that. Lose the need to react to everything. Many things can be ignored. It's again, people, someone asks you, what's your opinion on whatever is happening in the news at this hour? You don't have to react to that. You don't have to have an opinion on it. Things that happen that don't directly affect you, you can just let them go.
Right.
All right. Here we go. I once said this phrase to a person I worked with in theater and changed his life. So I'm pretty proud of this one.
Wow, you got one, huh? You saved one seashell.
I saved one person.
Starfish. All right, good.
Expectations are an appointment with disappointment.
Ooh.
Have no expectations of other people. None. I don't mean low. I mean zero. Guys, anytime if you're expecting, I'm going to go approach that cute girl over there. I expect her to, be flattered. Okay. You've just made an appointment with disappointment. I'm going to go ask my boss for a raise. I expect a raise. You just made an appointment with disappointment. I am going to throw a brick through a window. I'm going to expect Whitey to stop oppressing me. Okay. You just made an appointment with disappointment. All your expectations of what other people are going to do, every one of those, you are setting yourself up for disappointment.
I think what I would like to add to this for the benefit of our client and anybody listening is you have to realize how inferior everybody is. And this is a more recent epiphany I've had in the past year. Okay. I used to think that based on principles, ethics, morality, economics, like, hey, here's the obvious solution, and capitalism and freedom, and leave people be and leave them the fuck alone and let them go do their thing. And I had a ton of people on my side. And then in different instances, when it came to choices within their individual lives, you saw that they chose the lazy path, that they chose the lie. And it was a real depressing, defeating thing. I mean, now I'm old and I've gone through enough battles that nothing really phases me anymore. But when I saw people that I'm like, yeah, this is my team, these are my people, we're all on, and then I'm like, and then they still chose the easy, lazy, non-realistic, by the way, the guaranteed to fail path.
Right.
I looked at them, I'm like, wow. And it really, and this was another thing that triggered Operation Evil, where I'm like, okay, none of you fuckers, right, left, Democrat, Republican, black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. All you are lazy motherfuckers. And if you have any expectations of humanity, my girlfriend's going to stay hot. People are going to pay their taxes. You're not going to major in stupid shit. If you have any expectations or standards for your fellow man, be very, very prepared to be disappointed. and it's just, and that, again, getting back to the truth is everybody's a lazy, no good fuck, and go capitalize off of that. And so once you get over this, us, we, more, no, everybody, right. Your best friend will fuck your wife once you're dead. Maybe not. He may not even wait that long.
Depends how hot she is. Yeah.
You know, the black African-American studies professor will lie to every young black man and woman's face saying, you need this degree to loans give you $70,000 in 4 years of your youth, and they will fuck you in the ass. Everybody will fuck you up. Or at minimum, the best outcome is let you down. And the worst outcome is fuck you up. So just have absolutely no expectations. And anytime there's like a genuine, rare, good individual, like our buddy, we hung out with that little girl who was a pain in the ass. Mm-hmm. I kind of miss her.
Are you implying that there are girls who are not pains in the ass?
This one is, no, she was a pain in the ass. No, she's a royal pain in the ass. You suffered along with me. I don't need to hear any more fucking bullshit about soccer and how great Latino culture is. It's like, fine, go suck Latino dick. Shut the fuck up. Why are they like solid mid-level, if not lower level, third, fourth tier country? Anyway, there was still when it went away, that annoying pain in the ass went away. I'm like, I kind of miss a little pain in the ass that it was. But I had no expectations, none. And then all of a sudden, but someone like that will surprise you, where it's like, you know, even Atham. Atham is a breath of fresh air, even though he's a gay Latino, which is fine. Right. You could be gay, you could be homosexual. I'm pro gay rights. He could be gay. But here's a guy who's like more America and freedom than anyone you know, because he's actually read the books and gone through the flood. But that is the blessed exception. That is manna from heaven, not the rule. And so anytime you expect it's not even excellence. It's merely a modicum of standards from people. Like, you expect people to be courteous and civil and responsible. Go fuck yourself. It's over. Nope. You are setting yourself up for a letdown and failure.
And while a lot of it is classifiable as malicious, some of it isn't. But I mean, you know, other people have their own life, and so their life is going to be more important to them than your life. So while, you know, some of the disappointment is going to be the result of maliciousness, some of it's just going to be a result of the fact that other people have other things to do. So by not having expectations of other people, you know, you're protecting yourself, and you're also acknowledging their autonomy.
Well, and I respect their autonomy. What I despise is the hypocrisy when they make a statement X, or I follow this principle Y, and then when the time comes, like the number of, because, you know, you and I are getting old, right? Our generation has kids that are about to go off to school, and I've had multiple people my age, fathers, some mothers, their kids go off to school and their kids go major in history. And these are people that have read Worthless. These are people who've bought, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Well, you know, he's just trying to find himself. And it's like, so did I had an expectation, great one. I had an expectation that I wrote this great book. I made the compelling empirical argument and economic point. You shouldn't major in this. This is how we get out of poverty. This is how we close the wage gap, whether it's racial or sexual. Here's the path, guy. And then I had the foolish expectation that people were going to do the work. Right. And who paid the price, great one?
You did.
I did.
You did.
I did.
That's why you don't have expectations for other people.
And let me ask you this. Does it really hurt me if somebody doesn't do what they said they were going to do when I said they should do it and I thought they were on my team? And does that really hurt me in any way, physically or financially?
Probably not. I mean,
no.
We could think of some circumstances, you know, where maybe, but
somebody goes,
they're going to change the battery on your pacemaker or whatever, and they didn't do that, you might die. But
yeah,
I mean,
but if one kid,
examples,
right, kid A, who it's not my kid, it's, you know, a friend of mine's kid, I'm going to major in engineering and switches to history. Does that really affect me?
No.
But Do I pay a price if I had hope, invested faith, and expectations in it?
Yes, you pay a mental price, an emotional price, a brain processing price.
Yes.
You spend some part of your life being unhappy when in fact you should be happy, because the next thing on the list is that your life is finite. Once you die, all your interactions in this world and who you are today are over and done forever. How important is agonizing over the decline compared to this?
Right.
Guys, you're going to die one day. And even if you think there's an afterlife, because there's an atheist argument. No, look, even if there's an afterlife, okay, where you go like to heaven or whatever it is, it's not going to be here. You're going to be in some way a different person. You're going to be so it's not going to ever be this experience ever again. You might have another experience and you can continue it. It might be great, but you're not going to get this right here again. This is finite. And so how much of this finite thing do you want to give up to agonize over things you can't control?
Right. I don't believe there's an afterlife. So that actually, it's like not having kids. Like you and I have there's a hard end. There's a hard finish to this.
There's a hard finish.
So it very simplifies. I don't know what it's like to be a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or anyone who believes in the afterlife, or somebody who has children, which means you have to kind of believe at least in, 40 years of an afterlife. That's very difficult. So a very cheap way out of this, I'll admit this is cowardly, but it's cheap, but don't have kids. That's one way. I'm just saying. But while you're here, and this is where I wrestle with it the most, is I try not to get angry. I try so hard not to get angry. I guess maybe it's not that I have faith in humanity. I just ask the question, why? Why are we going to the moon? Why are you majoring in stupid shit? Why are you having kids you can't afford? It's so simple, but for the 63-year-old who has less time on this planet than we do, make it count.
Absolutely. Make it count. And how do you make it count? Golly, it's the next thing on the list.
Oh, is that the next thing on the list? You're very thorough, great one. I'm very glad you're providing for us.
Damn it. Somebody's got to do it. Have missions in your life. Do things and solve problems which you can control and improve your circumstances. Problems are something you solve or you ignore them. They are not something you get emotional about.
Well, so we've just eliminated all women listeners to the show, right?
You have women listeners? I don't have
there's
that experience.
There's a couple tough broads who are pretty kick-ass. They tune in. We love. Remember the girl we went hiking with, who tolerate? And now we had to listen to a lot of her bullshit, but she tolerated our bullshit.
With us. Yeah.
She put up with us.
She didn't smack us one time.
She wanted to, probably. Oh, yeah. No, there's a couple tough broads that listen. They're like, you want them. They're good on the team. Somebody, Anthem keeps letting them in. They're probably even the chat. Somehow YouTube is letting women listen to this podcast. Can you believe that?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
God, bleep it. I want to be the most sexist guy out there and get these broads. I get these dames, these skirts, these girly girls. You get them out of here. Now they're listening to man talk. Oh.
Man talk over here. All right. Okay, we're getting near the end. Next up, even though it seems like it, the decline is not personal. It's real, but don't take it personally.
Hang on. I know the decline is not personal.
So, and I just recently did this podcast where I did the entire thing complaining about all the fucking hurdles I've run into, like trying to open a bank account and dealing and just, so you go you go to the restaurant. Oh, we're disinfecting until 3:30.
We're in a second world country. Yes.
We're in a second world country, right?
We're in a second world country. Yes.
Let's get this back. It's easy to take all this personally and let it consume you or something, but it really isn't. Most of it really isn't personal. It's not aimed at you. It's not malicious. It's just their people are doing what they're conditioned and programmed to do by the system. And if you get hung up on taking it personally, you're going to be miserable. If you just accept this is what it is, and this person doesn't hate me, she might be a very nice girl, just let it flow over you.
One thing I have learned not to do anymore, which I did in my 20s, but I figured out relatively, is you don't take it out on the call center person or the teller. That's not their fault. These are just poor people like you and me when we are in our 20s, and they are following orders from some boomer Gen X fucktard like me who is an incompetent managerial fuck.
Right.
And
they are stuck in a broken system, most likely.
And you know what? If you want to make good in life, don't take it out on the call center people. Okay? They already got a bad enough job. Do them the favor. And I've said that. I said, this is not for you, but please tell your boss they're a fucking incompetent idiot. Like, I mean, you got to like be very friendly because, man, they're just like you. They don't want to be there. They're just trying to get by. And so that's acknowledging the system is fucked has saved me lots of pain. Yes.
Exactly.
Even yesterday, that happened to me. Like, I knew transferring my money was going to be a royal pain in the ass. I'm like, okay, I'm just got to drive from bank to bank. It was like 2 hours of my day gone. God. And great when you'd be so proud. I just lit up a cigar. I went out. That's why we didn't podcast, because I was obfuscated with this stuff where I was like, all right, just go to, and then I didn't want to do anything. I was just like, nope.
Yeah. And so it took up hours of your life, right? That you could have spent on something else.
But yeah, it was going to take that anyway. See, that's the thing, because there's you and then there's the system. And sometimes like you try to have as minimal dealings with the system as possible. But sometimes you're just going to have to set up an account with the bank, as you've experienced, and they're going to lead on to accept this. Yeah. What?
It's going to be painful.
And you know what? You can either lube your asshole or put sand in it. It's up to you. And I decided to lube my asshole. And it was a less painful fucking in the ass than it was had I tried to resist it.
All right. Here's my last tip on achieving. I think I'm actually going to take this list and tighten it up and add and delete and stuff and put it on my website.
Put it on your website, because I'm taking notes on your list as well.
All right. Know what will set you off and either get over it or avoid it. So here's an example from my life. I'm very Zen, CFG. If I see a left-wing protest, march, whatever, I have to go the other way, because I can tell you for a fact, and I am not saying this because I think I'm badass. I'm saying this because this is the truth. This is knowing the truth, accepting the truth, and making decisions based on the truth. Okay. If I go near the left-wing protest, and if somebody gets in my face and starts mouthing off, I will probably mouth off in return, because we're not going to control myself.
Right.
And if somebody makes physical contact with me, I will kill them.
Right.
Or I will have to be killed.
Right.
That's just a fact. I was in the military. For those who don't know, I was in the military for 3 years. Again, I'm not freaking,
You're not saying it for shits and giggles. I know.
I will lose control of my ability. I will lose control of myself. If some leftist hits me or touches me or grabs me, I will kill
They'll
that
be dead.
person.
Yes, I know.
And so I know this, and thus I see a leftist protest, I go the other way.
Right.
So if there's things in your life that really set you off, either get over it or avoid it.
Right. Because you in jail or dead or a quadriplegic. Like, there was some kid that showed up at one of these protests he was a carry conceal guy, and they just beat the shit out of him. I'm like, and yes, there would be nothing more fun in my mind than going to the Twin Cities with my little AR-15 and a ton of ammo and just shooting up. Yes, that's. But you know what? I'd land in jail.
Yep.
It's also, I think, ethically wrong. So maybe I wouldn't. Maybe driving up there, I'd be like, but there's no good outcome. And I've worked way too damn long. And you cannot. Could we say this is also akin to don't roll around in the pigs and mud? No one can tell because you're rolling around in the mud. No one can tell. And lie with dogs, get fleas. Because nothing good comes. Have you ever won an argument with a leftist?
No.
Have you ever lost an argument with a leftist?
From my perspective or from their perspective?
I'm making a philosophical point. You can neither win nor lose an argument with a leftist or an ideologue of any kind because they're not arguing in good faith. There is no debate. There's no logic. There's no geometric theorem like, oh, if, and, then, but. Oh, I see your point, and here's evidence. Right. And a leftist is an NP. I mean, can I win an argument? Have I ever lost or won an argument against this Lucador mask?
No.
No, because it's not capable of reason or evidence or anything like that. But when the consequence of you going over there is the Lucador mask kicks your ass, or now you got jail time,
right?
You can leave it alone. You don't need to interact, right? No, and you save yourself how much pain and agony?
So much pain and agony,
right? I'd also point out that there is a poetic justice. You know, like I know leftists agitate you, but do you know any happy leftists? Like, do you know any, aside from like career politician leftists who come from privilege and wealth, and they themselves are not? I mean, Nancy Pelosi looks like a miserable person. Do you know any successful leftists like that achieved anything in their life? They're happy?
Not really. No.
I
mean, yeah, karma or whatever you want to call it, I mean, is a thing. I think to a certain extent, people do get what they deserve. Mm-hmm. I suppose people certainly do get what they earn.
I don't know any happy feminists. I know a lot of corporate women who do great in like HR or diversity or marketing or whatever worthless math avoidant job career they have. They're really good at that, but they're not happy. A lot of teachers, great one. They're changing the world. They're changing lives. They're helping our future. You know how happy they are?
Oh, they're so happy.
They're so happy.
They're filled with happiness. Like that letter to E. Jean I did just recently where the woman wrote in and she's a teacher, but now she wants a different career where she can follow her passion. And I thought teaching was a passion.
3 of them all led off with their careers. I'm a successful something.
My career. I can't find a man. My career is awesome. I'm unhappy. I'm a teacher. I want to follow my passion.
You know what? I'm going to look out here. So, like, we're supposed to get some thunderstorms. I'm going to go for a walk, and I'm going to enjoy. I'm really going to practice what you preach, the great one. And I'm not going to worry about working out or I don't diet because I'm almost attaining what you have where I don't feel like eating. Like I have a meal a day now.
Yeah.
So, but I know Minneapolis is burning probably again and the evil. Yeah. And I'm to blame for it because of the way I was born and because I got this huge fucking Guns of Navarone between my legs. But I'm just going to go for a hike and relax and enjoy. And yeah, I'm not going to do it. No, this is great. I appreciate the insights. Any other insights? Anything else that we can help with the guy?
I don't think so. I think that's my best pointers I can come up with on. I guess, okay. And then, so if he listens to this and he took some notes on all the things I said, you have to go actually do them.
Right.
Those were meant as action items. Right. Once again, it doesn't matter if you intellectually understand what I said, and it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. All that matters, you have to actually start meditating. You have to actually practice mindfulness.
So instead, what we could say is you can't be a professor. You have to be a practitioner.
You have to be a practitioner of all this stuff.
Because professors are worthless, as we've, if you millennials haven't figured that out before. We got some, all right, now if you guys want to put in some super chats, let's get these out here. David Little for $4.99. Question, how do you deal with spoiled Gen Z kids who are smart but super lazy and love to argue and claim to know everything? Great one. I'm kind of curious on your approach on that one.
God, I don't know. I have an approach because I don't really have to do that. And thus I've never done it. And thus I don't think I can give any real practical advice. I could maybe theorize. Beating people with lead pipes is illegal.
Oh,
unless you're protesting. Yeah. Shit.
I don't know. Well, see, Dave probably is a little bit younger than us, so maybe I don't run into a lot of Gen Zers. So, I mean, you and I are old farts. Maybe Dave has a younger brother or sister. Honestly, man, you can't. I mean, this gets back to the Stoicism we're talking about. Are you going to the kids that you're talking to, the Gen Z kids? They've been brainwashed and conditioned by their parents, media, and teachers for a decade and change. I mean, how are you, Dave, going to come in there and convince them with all that? And then the more important thing I would say is, what's your vested interest? Why are you trying to convert is it out of principles and morals? Stop wasting your time.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the context? I mean, like if you're talking about someone you care about and love or whatever.
Right,
I mean,
like
if they are smart,
right? Yeah.
Like, okay, if they're smart and they love to argue, okay, great. Engage them in some, Socratean dialogue, just question everything they say and make them think about things, and take their intelligence and their love of argument and channel that into getting them to question the things around them. And in that sense, you might be able to lead them to the truth. I mean, that's sort of the story of my whole life, where I talked about how I've gone through all these phases, where I was the Democrat or the Republican, yada, yada. But all the time I was always questioning things, and I kept finding the holes. And then that's why I took philosophy classes in college, and I read philosophy books. And at one point I had a philosophy discussion group that we got together. And so just always questioning things. So if they're smart and if they love to argue, and if you really care about them, I would say engage that intelligence and get them to defend whatever dumb belief systems they have now, and punch holes in it and make them do the work and see the holes in whatever dumb belief system they have. I'm assuming they have a dumb belief system, and that's part of the problem.
Here's the problem, Dave. I'm assuming this is his real picture. So Dave obviously is an adult. If this was like, if he was under 18 and he had a little brother, because I was the oldest, you know how I got my siblings to pay the fuck attention?
Hit them?
You beat the shit out of them.
Yeah. That's what siblings are for.
Well, but now I think Dave is too old. He can't just grab his 24-year-old sister. I presume. I don't know who he's trying to convince. And there's only two ways I could see this working. Not what he should do, but what is maybe going to work. The one is the betting tactic. Like, you get it written down very clearly what's what, and you prove to them that they're wrong. Like, I bet you. And here's where you got to really narrow it down. This is why I'm an economist, because like I say, well, we're going to take this data set and and I bet you're wrong. And I already knew the data set because that was my job, is to research economics. So Dave, maybe you make them put money where their mouth is, but in a very, very concrete, provable way to prove you're right. So you get the money. And then here's what the bet tactic does is, if they take the bet and you're going to win because you're basing it in reality, now you lord it over them. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear anything about you. You're uneducated and you're ignorant. Okay. Do you want to make another bet? So that's one way to do it. If they don't take the bet, say, well, if your opinion isn't worth, let's say you $5 donation, like your opinion, you're not willing to bet $5. Well, I guess your opinion isn't worth $5. Shut the fuck up.
You don't have a lot of confidence in what you're saying. Don't have a lot of confidence. Not willing to put $5 on the line.
And
let me interrupt a second. I always carry a couple of $100 bills in my wallet for backup emergency money.
Sure.
And if I'm having an argument with somebody or something, I know what I'm talking about. I'll pull out those $200 bills, and I do this little show. I pull those out and I unfold them and everything. And I'll look the other person in the eye, and I flick the bills a couple of times, and I throw them on the ground between us. And I say, I got $200 that says you're wrong. Put up or shut up.
Right. So you're attaching a cost for having an ignorant or uneducated opinion.
Right. I've even had people back down when they were right.
Really? Why would you make a bet if you were wrong?
Because bluffing.
Oh, for shits and giggles? What? I was trying to impress girls? What? I've never made a bet when I know I was wrong. But then again, I'd never argue a point where I think I'm wrong. So, about the only other way, Dave, and this is just me with human psychology and behavior, is you fucking read them the riot act. And you just like, you fucking parasitic piece of fucking, you just point out the obvious. Yeah, I think what Dave's probably disagreeing with young Gen Z kids is that they're expected to everything. Like, who the fuck is going to make the food? Go on a rant and shut the fuck up and don't talk to me anymore, you inferior person. I think that is really key, is you got to point out that they are inferior. Because if they believe in a lie and you're believing in truth, that makes you the superior person. Right. They're weak. You got to be willing to torch the relationship. But I've done that before because I don't care about these people, because I don't want to have, It's not inferior. It's just, I don't want to have liars. I don't have delusional people. One could argue they're mentally ill if they don't believe in reality. And I just don't have time, getting back to some of the points Great One made. My life's too short to be hanging out with people where I got to like pat them on. Oh yeah, you're great and amazing because you got your master's degree. Oh yeah, get the fuck out of here. So,
yeah. Speaking of people we hang out with, because I got my friends I hang out with every week and drink. And if you listen to my podcast, you've heard about them, Alice and Bob. And this is why I still hang out with them after all these years, because they're not red pilled or anything like that. But like yesterday, we got together and I kind of braced myself because it's like, oh God, I'm going to have to hear about the riots and we'll see what kind of stupid ass opinions they have and all this other shit. And it'll piss me off. And the riots came up one time and somebody cracked a joke about them and that was it. And after it was done, I realized is that that's why I'm still friends with these people. They're not total NPCs. Like we just talked about pleasant stuff and what's going on in our lives, and nobody, it was not your typical conversation with your typical NPCs is dominated by what's happening in the mainstream media and on white trash TV, right? Did you see the Kardashians? Oh my God, the riots. Oh my God, did you know that Black Lives Matter?
And then let me repeat what I've been conditioned to repeat by K through. Right. I mean, there's no interest. There's no intellect. Nothing interesting. Right.
Yeah. And so when you can sit there with two people for 2 hours and not talk about current events, just talk about stuff, that's really fucking nice and refreshing.
No,
because most people can't do that. Most people right now couldn't make it 2 hours of their lives without mentioning Black Lives Matter and riots and the police.
Right. Hey, do you remember when COVID was a thing?
Yeah, I
do. Remember the old days? Way back. Those are good times, man. Those are good times. All right, let me
remember?
That was so long ago. Wow.
News cycle finally came to an end. We've moved on.
Dude, I came back to the Twin Cities. I was like, fuck, I just should have stayed in Utah. And I'm not joking. And now I'm looking at like, going out to South Dakota. Just like, fuck this shit. Let me take another break. We'll get through the super chats here. But let's all take a break right now. I'll be back. Okay, we're back now. Great One, you there or no? I don't think he's back. Yeah, he's not back.
All right, I'm back.
We may actually do some asshole consulting if you're up for it. Do you got to go anywhere, or you got it busy, or you got things?
No, I'm good, man. I got my exercise and everything. I'm just chilling.
There's a piece of me who wants to just bang this stuff out. But let's go get to the 5 men and women who've been kind enough to give us some super chats here. No, they are fine. No, I appreciate.
No, I saw some comments in the chat. I was laughing at.
No, I appreciate when people they want to get
genuine funny, not like mocking, laughing.
All right, Miguel Angel Casillas for $2. I thought this was Kinky Kelly and Donkey Show in Tijuana. Have you been there, Tijuana?
Hold on, am I Kinky Kelly or am I the donkey?
No, we're neither. Have you ever been to Tijuana?
No, I haven't.
It was tempting to me because I was in San Diego and there's a place called Imperial Beach and there's a big ass swamp and the Navy SEALs train in this area. And then there's Mexico. There's Tijuana right across. And it's kind of tempting because it's built up on a hill. And I know when I was in the 80s, oh my God, Tijuana, it's crazy. I'm like, well, is it? Maybe it's nice. I don't know. I kind of wouldn't mind checking out Tijuana. But then I hear about the donkey shows, so I don't really want to worry about the donkey shows. Adriano Ramos for $5 Australian. You know any Australians?
Well, not real Australians.
Not straight ones.
No, yeah, exactly.
Or masculine ones. We know like a couple like, pathetic, like they're the pat on the head Australians. Like, yeah, sure you're an Australian. Like they think they're big because they like did some adventuring across the planet or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, hell with those guys.
All right, Adriano Ramos, a real Australian for $5 Australian. Remember that date you had with this Subway lady? Talk about great expectations. What happened to her? Me or you? Who's he talking about? I
haven't had a date with a Subway lady.
With a Subway lady.
I know that. Are you sure you're not confusing the story? Because I know Clary's told us that back in the good old days when he was young and studly, he took all his dates to Subway. That was his favorite restaurant.
But I had a date with a Subway. I'm like, did I take out a Subway a sandwich artist? Adriano, you got to remind me of that one. I'm trying to. Did I take her to Subway? Or was she? I don't think I ever asked a girl out at Subway because they're not sexy. You got to admit the Subway artist, sandwich artist uniform is not that pretty. I don't think I've ever. Yeah, refresh my memory, Adriano. Just I don't know, email me or something. I'll hit it up on the next podcast. Thank you kindly for the $5, by the way. Scrolling down, Obleski L10 for £2 British. How old are you, great one? You don't have to say it if you don't want.
It's not that big a deal. 52.
Nope.
There's that hesitation in there because when you hit a point like you don't care anymore, like it's just not relevant to me in any way. I still approach 19-year-old girls and get shot down. So, I mean, I don't care.
I stopped caring at about 31, 32. I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, and may I toot our own horn? Who had to clock out when we were hiking that first day on the third hike?
The young person.
The 26-year-old professional semi-pro athlete had, and we beat her ass. Two old farts like us.
Yeah, exactly.
So my old man still runs, despite him being in the 70s, and I am not getting fat. I am not in a wheel. If I'm in a wheelchair, it's because I was in an accident. But I am not getting obese. I'm not, and people keep saying like, "Wow, you look great, really great for your age." I'm like, "Yeah, it's called work, motherfucker." It's,
I actually get that quite a bit too. I think it's been a couple of months now, but I got accused of having a fake ID because this woman's like, "There's no way you're this old." I'm like, "No, that's really me." She's like, "There's no way." I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
I've got to grow this out because now it's getting some gray, so now I don't get carded so much anymore. But if I shave this, then people are like, "What's your ID? Are you allowed to be here?" And all that.
I still get carded on a regular basis.
And you know what's funny is like, so they always said that would be a great advantage when you're older. That hasn't helped me get no girls. No, I haven't had. Aside from the remember when we came down off of Grand Staff, Negro Bill Canyon. Remember Negro Bill Canyon? They're gonna change that because we just can't call him Negro Bill, even though he has an amazing history. So there's a canyon in Moab called Negro Bill, but they also call it Grand Staff because that was his name, Bill Grand Staff Canyon. But everyone locally called him Negro Bill. So we came down, and what happened to me, great one, traumatic as it was when we finished.
You got sexually harassed.
I was sexually harassed
when that woman catcalled you.
Don't remind me. It's traumatizing. I'm having flashbacks and PTSD.
I bet you are.
Did she ask for my permission to do that, great one?
She did not get a consent from you at all.
She wooed at me. I mean, I was raped. Drive-by rape.
Yeah. I mean, she behaved as if she had ownership over your body.
I felt horrible. It's just so bad.
Oh my God. That I was also traumatized because no women were catcalling me. I was like, hold on, girl, see this guy? I'm 6 foot tall. How come you're not catcalling?
Yeah, what the hell was that about? Hey, I was obviously not 6 feet tall. What was this gal wooting at me for? Holy cow. Man. But that is so rare. It's this thing like, oh, your youthful looks will get you far in life. No, the fuck it won't. It'll prevent you from getting a job. It'll prevent you from getting promotion. No one's going to take you seriously. Then when you actually are like 45 and you look like you're 32 and you got the money, you pick up the girls. You don't want to be dating no 28-year-old girl because they're a pain in the ass. And you're like, fuck this shit. And they still don't fight you because, again, I'm not 6 feet tall. Unless you're driving by very quickly in a truck in Moab and then you woot at me.
Right.
I feel very cheap and very...
Cappy's cheap to begin with.
I never understood. I know it's the difference between men and women, but one of my favorite stories, I'll tell it again, is a buddy of mine stopped over because I used to live near the bar area, and it was common people would stop in and sober up at my place. And oh yes, this gal, I won't mention her name, she shows up and she had a skirt on and a dress, and he was like, dang, you went out. And then she's like, yeah, I did. She pulls up her skirt and she got like the thigh highs and the thing, the straps that connected. I'm like, damn. And she knew exactly what she was doing because she knew I was a sucker for that shit. And then she just grabs me. We make out. We have sex. So she's putting herself back together. And she's like, well, Clary, you're always a good time. And she left. And I was like, she just wanted some nookie. She used me. And I was like, that's the greatest fucking thing ever that ever happened. I was like, that's awesome. I was used. I was used for sex.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay. And you know what? I didn't go to the cops. I didn't feel like I was but the women's completely different. Just, oh my God, what is it meaning? I need to light some candles and talk to my therapist, my yoga. It's just like, fuck, do you want to have sex or not? I thought you're equal. You're men, right? We should all be fucking now. No, we can't. That's all right. Another one from Nonstop Dre, 360 for 10. Wow, Dre's getting expensive now. Dre, $10.
Dre.
All right. What also helps is knowing that one day I'm going to die and life is short. So why should I get bothered by things most people have miserable lives due to lies? My hardship in the Marines taught me that. Dude, he's like 23. How old is Dre? He's not even 25 yet, right?
I don't think so.
Dude, he is like way ahead of us.
Yeah, dude, you're doing great, Dre.
Oh, man.
Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Just carry the torch when we die. And you can be hated by everyone as well.
Right. And not care because you don't need external validation. Right. You can be hated and enjoy your life.
But then Dre has the added benefit that if anybody hates him, this is why you hate black men. And then bam, he's golden. He's bulletproof.
Boom.
Bulletproof Marine, not Bulletproof Monk. They'll make the sequel. Bulletproof Marine. Bulletproof Marine. Oh, that does sound like a good movie, though, doesn't it?
That does, actually.
Bulletproof Marine. Wow. That actually
starring Nonstop Dre.
Nonstop. It sells itself.
It does.
It sells itself. What would the plot be? He's a Marine. He gets out. He got exposed to some chemical, and now his body is bulletproof or something. But he's got to have a weakness to something else. Something like he could just... But there should also be a philosophical mental point, like nothing bothers him, like he's totally stoic. One of my favorite movies, not Last Man Standing, black actor, one of the few I like that isn't fucking Samuel L. Jackson. She man, stereotype. This guy's an actual white
Wesley
girls like him.
Snipes?
Not Wesley Snipes. No, the most aside from Morgan Freeman. Younger than Freeman, really good looking dude. He's like probably 60 now, but in the day he was Man on Fire is the movie I'm thinking of.
Quick, someone in the chat. Who are we talking to? I don't know.
Everybody's screaming it right now. He's a
Denzel
Washington. Thank you.
Good job, chat.
Yeah, Denzel Washington. Last Man Standing. You ever see that?
No.
You haven't seen, I'm sorry, not Last Man Standing. That's Bruce Willis. Man on Fire. You've never seen Man on Fire?
No.
Oh, God, great one. It's a great flick.
Is it?
Yeah, total stoic motherfucker. Like, he has a death wish. He doesn't care if he lives or dies. Mm-hmm. And then he's hired by his Mexican family to watch over the kid because in Mexico, the cartels are always threatening the rich people. And he's got to watch over the kid, make sure she doesn't get kidnapped. And he's the freaky guy in Saturday Night Live. More cowbell. Why can't I remember any of these people's names? Not William Holden. For God's sake. Great actor. He's like his controller. He says like, hey, I got a gig for you. So Denzel Washington goes to Mexico to babysit this kid, to bodyguard the kid. And then he actually developed, because the kid is being treated like shit by the parents. Not bad, but the parents are rich fucking elitists who are too busy to take care of their own kid. You know, like modern day white people in America. You know, like why fucking take care of it? Here's the nanny, but he's a bodyguard nanny. And they develop a rapport, and he finds out he has reason to live again. And he trains her how to swim. And like, you know, as much as a 40-some-year-old dude can associate with a, I don't know, 7-8-year-old child, he ends up finding a reason to live again. And then guess what happens?
One of them gets killed.
The mafia kidnaps her.
Oh.
And he goes apeshit, and not in a crazy way, but a calculated eye. And it's, what is the guy's name? He says, Creasy is the guy's name. He says, they've just kidnapped the only thing that ever gave him a reason to live. And they don't realize that the number one art he has is death. Right. And he says, and he is going to paint his masterpiece. And he hunts these fuckers down and it's a great flick. Man on Fire. Everyone's got to see that. Everyone's got to see that. What? Not William Holden. Hang on. Is anyone in the chat room?
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. Thank you.
Christopher
Walken. Yeah. He's like, they just took the only thing away from him. He has nothing else to live for.
Yeah.
And his specialty is death. And he's about to paint his masterpiece. And he fucking does.
Nice.
So Nonstop Dre could be Bulletproof Marine. And I'm just seeing that kind of like stoicism where he just like, he doesn't care anymore. He just goes in. You know what's going to happen? Nonstop Dre is going to find himself a nice woman. He's going to like have 8 kids. He's going to name them all Aaron, which he should. And then I'm going to visit him. Like, hey, how things going? And you're like, oh, he's all haggard and everything, but he's still happy. Savory Avery for $2. I'm in the Air Force. Any chances I'll see my pension? Yeah. Look, everyone's going to see their pension. It's whether your check is going to buy anything or not, because it's going to print off all the money. No, I'm being deadly serious. You think they're going to let Social Security go? You think it's going to be, they print off, it's whether it's going to get you something.
Well, I mean, but he's a little more, Social Security will go probably before military pension. Although I don't know. I mean, okay, like just like worst case scenario. I mean, okay, look at Russia the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union fell apart, all of a sudden the pay stopped showing up for everybody in the military because they were in the military of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union didn't exist anymore. I mean, some worst case scenario, the government of the United States truly collapses, goes away, whatever. Okay, you may not see your pension. But I mean, I think that it's because the money printer go burr. I think it's going to drag out. I think you'll see your pension.
You'll see your pension, Savory. Watch my video on why we no longer invest. We only hedge against inflation, or search something like that. But for every country out there that's you think they're not. We're the last horse in the glue factory. We're the hottest fat chick at a fat chick party. We can print off dollars and the world will suck it up because they did worse things than we did. And we actually have a genuine economic productive economy. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying there ain't no problems and there aren't no real critical long-term structural, but the money will end up in a lot of people don't understand this. Great one. Where have we seen inflation? And where has it really hurt people's standards of living? I'm going to give you a hint. You millennials voted for this shit. By the way, get this book, How Not to Become a Millennial. There you go. Where have we seen inflation? And it hurts everyone in the pocketbook the most because it's the largest expense item.
Okay, as I say, if I understand the question correctly, inflation has manifested in healthcare, housing, and education.
Right. But the main one is lodging.
The one that gets pretty much everybody is housing.
It's housing. You got to pay rent. Because I remember 20 years ago, I paid $330 a month for rent for 1 bedroom near downtown Minneapolis. Now that would easily go for at least $800. Did the economy grow by 200, 300%? No. All it is, we print money printer go burr. I need my tuition paid for because I'm a millennial pussy. All right. Well, money printer go burr. We need to be bailed out because bank loans and shit. Money printer go burr. Then, oh, wow. Where'd the money end up? Oh, my gosh. The housing market is 400% what it was. And so is rent. There's no inflation. You know what's also clandestine? Not to bore people with economics, but what's really clandestine? Because a house is a house. That's like one unit. And you're not going to consume multiple units of house. You have a house, right? So you buy a house, right? A Big Mac, a car,
usually,
a house. Yeah. Right. But what about shares of stock? If the price of a stock gets too high, what do corporations usually do? So people keep buying it.
Oh, I'm not an expert on this, but isn't there a thing called splitting your shares?
They split the shares, right? So all of a sudden, a share is $100 a share. They'll split it down to like 50, or they could do a 4-for-1. Now it's 25, whatever, a 2-for-1, 4-for-1. They split it, and it keeps their shares. Usually you want to stay under 100. It ultimately is irrelevant, but people like to split their shares to keep the price. Does that mean there's more profit?
Probably not.
No, you get half the profit. You have a share. They split it. That just means, you have one share.
Now the share you own and split your share?
I get a share. I have one share of IBM, right? Okay.
It's worth $100.
$100. They split it. Now I have two shares that are worth 50. Do I get twice the dividends? No, I get half the dividends. It's the same fucking thing.
So it's just a math trick. Okay.
It's a math trick. But I understand because some people want to invest in a particular back in the olden days. Nowadays, I think it's actually quite irrelevant because everyone's buying through mutual funds now. So you're buying into a mutual fund that buys shares in the multiples of millions of dollars. So the actual price of a share I really don't think matters anymore. But neither here nor there.
Sure.
Where was I going with this? With the price of a house, here's the price for one house.
Right.
But with shares, is a $100 share of IBM more valuable than a $50 share of Google? You don't know. Because every share price is, we could constantly split them. We can constantly cut them. That you can issue a bunch of shares here. It's all dependent upon price to earnings and dividend ratios, which nobody pays attention to. So what's really interesting is because what's important, you have healthcare, right? That's a main goal in life, right?
Sure.
Education, that's a main goal in life, right?
Yep.
Okay. Then you got housing. That's a pretty important goal in life, right?
Yep.
What's the fourth most important? Probably the most important. No, that's not an investment. That's a pissing away of money and time. Don't even bother with that shit.
Sanity.
What would you like to do when you're 65? Right. Great one.
Oh, retire.
So what millennials don't see, because we constantly cut the price, you split stock prices. A house is now $400,000. Okay, you can understand that. But what's the price of retirement? How many shares of IBM do you have to buy to make sure it makes it to retirement? And what they don't realize is that the IBM share is only paying a 2% dividend. But since the price is constantly cut because we keep splitting, it's like, well, the price of IBM is only $50. It's like, yeah, but you need 80,000 shares of that shit to retire. And so what they don't realize is just as the cost of housing has gone up, the cost of retirement has gone drastically up as well. But nobody does the math about the figure that because all the boomers have flooded the money with IRA and 401k money. And now if you want to buy into, quote, the retirement market, the price to earnings ratio is so fucking inflated, it's not worth buying those stocks. But people will still buy it because money printer go what? Great one. Burr. So you don't invest because it's an investment. You buy because it's inflation. That's what it is. So there we go. So Savory Avery, you'll see your pension. It may not buy you shit. So I would honestly, I'd buy a property you can live on in a non-leftist, non-Democrat. I hope the black people are listening. You voted Democrat all this time.
Oh my God, yes.
And now you have leftist, Antifa, liberal white Democrats coming and killing you. Now, not to bring politics into this. The only thing white Republicans did to you was fucking free you. They fought a fucking civil war to free you. Yes, great one. I know the counter argument for states. I understand it. I just go with me on this one right now. But now you got white liberals giving you bricks to throw through your own windows. Okay, I'm just pointing out who your real friends might be. Just because we're not going to suck your dick doesn't mean we're your enemy. Okay. Maybe we could have a cigar later on when you start your own business. We'll have it go, hey, remember when you thought you were poor and then you decided to get a vasectomy, and then your brother who ended up like impregnating 5 baby mamas is like poorer than fuck and he hates you, calls you an Oreo because you went in engineering like Dre did. Those are good times.
Those are good times.
Those are good times.
Those are good times.
Nonstop Dre. Hey, speaking of our black buddy, Nonstop Dre for $2. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Hillary Clinton. That was Rahm Emanuel, not Hillary Clinton. Correct?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was Rahm Emanuel. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Former mayor of Chicago. You see the ugly, like golem-like creature they got for the mayor of Chicago now?
No.
Oh my God, she's like missing a couple chromosomes. She is like this. Yeah, she's a genetic reject, but she's the lesbian and a black and a woman. Yeah, you got the trifecta there.
Wow.
Black woman, lesbian. Yeah,
very
so obviously smarter than everybody else.
Obviously.
You wouldn't want like a competent person in there.
No.
Adriana Ramos for $2 You had a Subway, Cappy. She broke your heart. You had a Subway. She broke my. Adriana, stop spending your money. Email me this thing. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it on the podcast. Email it to me. This is not making any. I had a Subway sandwich, and then this girl broke my heart. I don't get it.
Oh man, it's like, you know, when something's on the tip of your tongue, it's like on the tip of my memory is this story.
Does this sound familiar?
Yes, you told some kind of story, girl, and the Subway was involved, and
not the girl in Chicago. We were on the actual Subway, not the restaurant. We were on the actual Subway.
Well, the one I'm thinking about was the Subway restaurant. Anyhow, I don't remember enough of the story to like really remember.
None of this is coming. Okay, Audrey, you know, now what's going to happen? He's going to remind me. I'm like, oh yeah,
story.
Because I'm getting old and I got the Alzheimer's. And where's that Smith and Retirement Wesson program? Right. Yeah.
Well, you're just forgetting all these girls. It happens.
No, I mean, well, they stand out. I mean, and I haven't had any new stories in a long ass time, but the main ones that formed my philosophy, and dude, I'll admit I've forgotten a lot of them. And what's sad is you'll go back and you'll remember, like, I don't know, something will trigger your memory and you'll remember like, oh my God, I remember that. And you're like, it's worse than I remember. Like you always think maybe I'm a little too harsh on women. Then I'll remember when I got stood up. I'll never forget. But then you'll remember something like where I got stood up on Christmas Eve, where I was promised like a meal and I could come to this girl's home and then I'd go work my security shift. I'm never forgetting that. Never forgetting that. And until you women give me reparations, power, brother, power. I'm going to warn all the boys about you girls. Nonstop Jay's 23. I'm already hatred for living in reality. Yeah, you're going to be hated for living in reality.
Yeah, you are.
I always have faith for like the guys like Dre, Martinell, Napier, because they're young and they're getting this before they're 30. Can you imagine how much more advanced they're going to be by the time they're our age? Like how less stress and how more successful they'll be than us.
Yeah. Man, I wish I'd have gotten all this when I was young.
Oh God.
I pissed away most of my life being stupid.
I just had a dream. Like I don't have a lot of goals in life. I just want to live to about 80 to see like Dre and the two boys,
Martinell and
Napier. I want to see them when they're 50 or at least 45. I want to live that long so I could see it where it's like they made it. And then I die. And they're just as pissed off because there's nothing to live for. I was like, no, it's the same shit you guys are talking. No, we're just 30 years older, you fucks.
Right. And then they'll be like us yelling at the internet and being aggravated and wondering why the fuck aren't there, you know.
Can you imagine how fat women will be by the time they're in their 40s? Holy
crap. Yeah, you guys
go. Rascals for everyone. That would be a platform for future politicians. We're going to get rascals for all the beautiful big women. And don't you judge them.
Yep.
Here's a one from Ice Notes for $2. Hey, great one. How are the runner chicks on the trail?
They were okay. There's a couple of cute ones.
No.
So they're doing all right.
All right, good.
I've had worse days.
That one we saw come running down before.
Man.
Woo!
That was the highlight of Utah. She was adorable.
That was a good looking gal. Yeah.
She was good looking, man.
I like that they're out there. You know, that gal's legit. You know, we gave our little kid sister, we gave her guff. She kept up more or less. Oh yeah. So she was legit. But then that one that came in, I'm like, I'd sell our little kid sister into slavery to have a shot at that one. It's like, how you doing? Kevin McComber for $9. Warren Buffett recommends index funds and government bonds. Yeah, that usually pays off. That's empirically correct. Kevin McComber for $2. Why are rents and homes so expensive? Okay, great. When would you like to handle this? I've given you the economics. Let's see if you can recite the economics lessons I gave you.
Why are they so? I'm not sure that I know.
I just explained it to you.
Well, who pays attention to you?
Nobody, because we obviously have financial crises and all that. But who? Ignore the short guy because he ain't 6 foot tall. All right.
I mean,
money printer does what? Burr. Money printer go burr. What is the money? Okay, it's paid out. Where does the money that came from money printer go burr? What does it inevitably end up?
At the bank.
At the bank. What do banks do with the money that came from money? Bank loans go where? But I think the largest houses. That's the largest lending market is the mortgages for homes. So that's why we did money printer go burr. Millennials vote Democrat. Obama, black man, nice. Black man say things I like to hear. Twiddle my twat, hope and change, money printer go burr. Literally, if I had to double check, I think it was like he increased the money supply, I think 300%. Now, admittedly, to fight off the housing crisis recession, but that doesn't matter. Money printer go burr. Okay. Now that money is printed off, then it goes to the banking system. Banks are sitting on a shit ton of cash. It's a recession. Ain't nobody borrowing money for businesses anyway, because Obama said, you didn't create that. We're going to tax the fuck shit out of that because I'm a leftist little black pussy and brought up by my white grandma because my mother was a whore and my black man shocked his father ran out on his ma. Can you believe that, great one?
No way.
No. It's never happened.
But wait, I thought women had great bullshit detectors, and how didn't she know that he was going to?
I have your list here about ignoring people or need to react, calling truth, voltage, no less royal. The decline is not personal. Mindfulness. I don't care. I just don't care. All right. Anyway, so money printer go burr.
Money printer go burr. All right. Good.
Okay. Ends up in the banking system. Banks predominantly lend out on some key things. Housing being the largest one of them. Right. Housing prices go up. Now, Tina wants to buy a rental property. Now it's $300,000. She finances it at 3%. Fine, interest rates are low, but the price went up fourfold. So what's going to happen to the rents that Tina's got to charge you, Kevin? But you millennials, you thought you were getting away with money printer go burr. And now you're all just giving it right back to the property owners through rent. Oh, and by the way, your professors who fucking, again, the broken glass with Gorilla Glue dildo, they fucked you in your ass for your student loans. But hey, it was at 2% or like no interest until you pay it off, right? It's not that hard. It is really not that hard to be an economist. All right, nonstop trade for $2. I'm not having kids, laughing out loud, ghost and vasectomy. Yeah. Hey, great one. You got a vasectomy, you're just not having sex enough to worry about it.
Just not having a sex enough to worry about it.
You still insistent on going after like 20-something and 19-year-old girls?
Yeah.
You are? You're not going to settle for like a 31-year-old that's pretty hot?
I mean, she's like really hot, sure, but just, I believe it when I see it.
We're talking academically anyway.
Yeah. Right,
I always tell the GF, I'm like, you don't compete against other women. You compete against me being single and by myself because I'm just thinking like, be nice because I'm not going back. It's like, hey, do you want to go back to Vietnam bet? No, I don't. No. I'd rather be here getting drunk at the American Legion. What's going on, guys? Fuck that shit. Can't you wait to be single again? No, I can't. I could just never. I just don't. You go Better Bachelor. You tuning in to Better Bachelor?
Yeah, I watched some of his stuff.
He's got some good stuff. I'm gonna listen to him when I go walk around today.
Nice.
Dylan Doe for $1.99. Is Capster safe? Yes. Why am I safe, Great One?
Safe from being sexually harassed? It's because you're not in Utah anymore.
Safe. Well, that too. Those Utah women were just all hooting and hollering.
Whoa, yeah.
They said I was an attractive man with one syllable. I was very oppressed.
Yes.
No, the bullshit happening off to my west.
Oh, that. Is there something happening? I'm sorry. I was over here zinning out. I didn't know.
I ignore things that I'm angry at. I walk away. I ignore it.
Is there something going on?
I played my cards right. I'm not walking over there.
Cappy has guns, so I figure he's probably pretty safe.
Cappy has guns, and he trained with them recently, so I'm ready to go. Because actually, I have like different weapons, and I'm like, the safety's not always at the same spot. Shotgun has a different safety. I had to pistol, shotgun, and then a carbine. That's how I'm glad I refreshed my memory. You know what's really cool is I turned on the red dot and it still has battery power. I was like, hey, it still works. All right. And I got flip sights if I got to take it off. I'm like, let's go, motherfucker. Cappy, you've never seen Last Man on Fire, huh?
No.
Great quote. So he realizes a hit is about to happen, and he starts shooting the bad guys who he knows are bad guys, and everybody opens up fire on him. Now he takes a couple rounds. They make off with her. So she escapes. His Mexican cop buddy shows up. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, Greasy, what the hell? And you know what Greasy asks? He says, how many did I get? And he looks around. He says, you got 7. I'm like, that's awesome. I mean, I want to get 7. Yeah. So, and unless it's like a cowardly sniper coming after me, at 300 yards, I'm going to at least get 7. But I'm not going. You know why I'm going to do that? I'm not going to go to Minneapolis. You know why?
Because there's no reason to. It's
not they hate problem. Me.
Well,
both sides hate me.
True. Everyone involved hates you.
Those pussy white liberals that said I was a sexist, racist, homophobe, evil, mean, jerkity jerk, and they got their properties now they're all worried about, they hate me. They hated me back then. And the people that want to torch things and they hate me, probably they hate me less than the other people. Maybe I could actually understand Antifa people writing. I'm kind of like, I understand why you're angry, man. I understand that. I'm not going there. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to my nice little house in South Dakota where it's built. And if any one of those motherfuckers puts a toenail on my property, they're dead. They're fucking dead. And Cappy will be, I'm about the safest guy you can have right now. So I'm very, very, very safe. And the other thing, nobody goes to Minneapolis or St. Paul anyway. You want to know why? Here's the very simple, non-sexy reason why no one goes to downtown Minneapolis anymore. Guess what?
There's nothing there to go there for?
Not only is there nothing there to go there for, but there's a couple places. You got to pay for parking. You got to deal with parking and bullshit.
Of
and
course.
There's traffic. Yeah, fuck it. No, fuck you guys. Done. It was cool in the 90s. It was some great nightclubs, some great bars, great venues. It was wonderful. Lots of great jazz and blues. It was wonderful. It was great. The Imperial Room, Blues Alley, First Avenue. Now you have to pay $20 to park. No, fuck. Done. Not gonna deal with that. But I'm very safe. Is it safe? Miguel, not sure about the Subway artist, but pissing you off is fun. Oh, he was fucking trolling me. Look at that great one. Miguel was you fucking asshole, Miguel.
Wait, was that Miguel that was asking?
Yeah, it's Miguel. He was lying. Like, what he wanted me to tell him? Like, what stage has been lying this entire time? Not sure about the Subway artist, but pissing you off is fun. Fuck you, Miguel. Gal.
Well, he's right about that. I mean,
look at that.
Angry is entertaining.
Damn it. God damn it.
Out.
I got to do that to somebody. I got to do that to a great one. Or not you, Atham or Chad. Adriano Ramos was on your Never Reject Sex when offered podcast. Huh?
See, he's talking about the Subway.
I have no idea. I don't know what. Okay, Kevin McComber, $2. Have to have 2 incomes for a home now. No, you don't, Kevin. Just got not have kids, not have a wife. Single bachelor dude, bachelorette. If they want to work in STEM, you can afford it. afford yourself a nice little home, not a big one, but you can afford one.
And I don't know what constitutes affording, but I can think of a number of single women I know that own homes. Now, that doesn't mean they're paying it off. That doesn't mean they're not in debt, whatever. But I'm just saying, you can get a home with one income. Aren't the banks going to freaking give loans to anybody who pretty much has a heartbeat at this point?
Yeah, no, they're desperate. They'll give it away. So Kevin Comer, $1.99. Why are homes in California so expensive? Multiple reasons. Regulation. Everyone wants to move to California because of the weather, though that is changing. There are huge centers of commerce, namely Silicon Valley, that people want to live at. But yeah, regulation is another one. Like I think in San Francisco, if you take down a home, 50% of the material has to be recycled. So it's regulations like that make it expensive. I don't know how long California will continue to be that expensive because they are becoming so fucking intolerable. I mean, even Elon Musk was going to leave. But to be honest, the main thing is the weather. I've talked to people in San Diego. I talked to a hedge fund manager, like millionaire type of guys. And like, oh, I love you. I'm like, don't you worry about the taxes? He's like, no, I love it here. They just love the weather. Weather, this is why you go to Duluth. You want to buy a cheap home, Kevin, go to Duluth, go to Thunder Bay. You'll find cheap homes there. No one wants to live in the fucking cold. DJ Aftershock, $2. Be nice. Be yourself. Be nice. And women don't like muscles. Remember that. That's right.
That's how you get the girls. It's just be yourself, guys. Be
yourself.
And give them flowers. They really.
What girls really like?
Being told to smile.
A sensitive, caring man.
Yes.
Who listens to their problems. That's what they listen to. Hamanishu. I butchered that. It's a Hindu name. I apologize. For 40 India rupees. Favorite movie. Great one. Go. Because we're gonna have to give your two favorite movies because there's obviously a one correct answer for everybody's favorite movie. We remove that one, then we can talk about our second favorite movie.
Got it. Well, probably my favorite movie would be Alien.
Okay. And that's incorrect, but go on.
Yeah. My other favorite movie is a movie no one's ever heard of. It's called Riders of the Storm.
Never heard that one. I might watch it tonight.
If you can find it, good luck.
My favorite movie, which is the correct answer, is Die Hard. But again, that's everybody's favorite movie. It's like, is the sky blue? Is water wet? So obviously, my second favorite movie, after some consideration, I would say Casablanca. Because now there's a lot of close finishes, photo finishes. Exactly. I mean, there's Midnight Run. Tropic Thunder has been going up there in rank, like my top 5. Kelly's Heroes,
yes,
that's
a great movie.
Gotta be.
I bet I've seen that 30 times.
We ain't got no booze.
When I was in high school.
Oh my God! We're gonna get some booze. We got no booze. Bridges up. No, it ain't.
It's a beautiful bridge, and it's gonna be
there. And then Carol O'Connor, did you lose my aerial photographs? And you know what? Women never gonna get that joke. That's another great thing about being an independent. Women are never, Soy Boys and women, never gonna love that movie. They're never gonna appreciate Tropic Thunder. They're never gonna get those movies. That's
woof, woof. That's my other dog imitation.
My other dog impersonation. Be careful, Big Joe. Some of these people have sensitive feelings.
All right, I'll give you $50 to carry the machine.
No, I don't trust you.
Do you have it on you? No, I don't have it on me.
Yeah. Don Rickles. How many stars were in that movie? Don Rickles, man. Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas. Little Joe was on the Rockford Files.
Harry Dean Stanton.
Gavin McLeod. Captain of the Love Boat.
Yep.
Donald Sutherland.
Sutherland.
God, believe it's just a great movie. It's a great movie.
Great.
Oh, okay. I think is that it? That's all we got. No, there's Ice Nose. Ice Nose for $2. I graduated high school. I graduated. Fuck you, Ice Nose. Fuck you. You know what he's doing there, right?
No.
Do you graduate high school, Great One?
Oh,
no.
You graduate from high school.
Graduate from high school. And Ice Nose thinks he's going to get me angry, but hang on. According to the rules, let me pull it up.
You're going to get angry.
No need to react. There is a rule that the ground. You have no need to react. Ice Nose, go fuck yourself. There you go. I ain't going to be doing that. And then Ice Nose for $5. He's going to try and get me again. Should I Lisa be up? See here. Here we go.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Ice Nose. You try and get me. Should I lease a BMW and rent furniture to impress my neighbors and then go to the Carlson School of Management to get an MBA to work at the diversity department of a corporation? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Sign up for debt. And while you're there, take out an extra loan so you can live in one of those fancy. Something just dawned on me, Great One.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same in Fort Collins, but at the U of M in Dinkytown, that's like the neighborhood where all the college students lives.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of real estate developers went in there and put up like penthouse type of high-end lofts. And so does that happen at Fort Collins too?
Oh God, yes.
Those guys are fucked. Whoever built those and owns those are fucked because ain't nobody coming to college and paying that shit no more. It
really?
Yeah. Isn't the school closed down?
No, fall semester is going down.
Really?
Back. Yep.
What's enrollment look like?
Oh, I have no clue.
Oh.
But first of all, I predicted that because they're not going to let the kids get away from the indoctrination.
No,
camps.
I agree with you on that. Right. We had that conversation.
You know, what's pissing people off is that I don't think this is official yet. I know somebody who works at the university, but it's been floated. Is they might brace yourselves, everybody sit down. They might freeze tuition for the upcoming semester.
They won't lower it. They'll just freeze it, huh?
Tuition goes up pretty much every year at CSU. And so like all these people I know went to CSU in the past, they're all pissed. Like they never froze tuition for us. I'm like, Jesus, guys. So
I remember.
Go ahead. Yeah, but anyway, it's going down. Apparently they're going to have classes on campus in person. But get this, it starts normal at the end of August. And then when they get to winter break or Christmas break or whatever it is, after the break, it's going to be online.
Oh, okay.
Because the rationale I heard is they don't want people leaving for break and then coming back to the campus. But of course, it's okay that everybody's gone right now during the summer and will come back to the campus.
Huh.
So it makes obviously so much sense. But anyhow, so yeah, the student housing will be filling up.
I wish them the best. I hope they pay $500 for a textbook.
Yep, they will.
I hope they fuck up their lives. And then they go, oh, you need a bailout. I'm sorry. I thought you were smart and independent and like really intelligent, college-educated kids. How'd you get hoodwinked by a bunch of old boomers? Don't you say okay, boomer a lot of times?
Boomers sure fucked you.
Boy, those boomers are really clever. Like schnookering you out of $150,000 in 4 years.
Smarter than you are.
Yeah. That's Gen X has got to bail you out because boomers retired ain't working no more, huh? All right, you little fucking pussies. Hammurabi Tide Pod for $2. Big ass titties. That's actually an old school, original YouTube videos. Big ass titties. No, that's from Tropic Thunder. Big ass titties. Have you seen Tropic Thunder, Great One?
No, I haven't. See, now everyone watch Clary. See, watch how he's getting invested.
Where's these rules? Hang on.
See how he's
accept truth.
He's not
no need to react. Here, this is the most accurate. The decline is not personal. Go watch Tropic Thunder. Okay, great. What do you got planned today? You ain't got no work, right?
No. Well, I got
work.
I got my shit to do.
All right, you have your shit to do. Do you have an hour and 30 minutes of your life to dedicate to a movie?
See, okay, now this is the part where I'm going to remind Cappy.
I'm not getting excited. I'm just rolling my eyes. I'm going to go for a long walk and binge on Better Bachelor. That's all I'm going to do after this. Tell me your bullshit gay reason why you can't do this.
Because I don't have streaming. So where am I going to find the movie?
Can't you go to Walmart or something and go get a copy of Tropic Thunder?
We're not going to go all the way to Walmart to get a movie.
Is the libraries open in your neck of the woods?
Sort of. You can't go in the building yet, but that's a whole.
See if they got Tropic Thunder. See if they got it. It's a great one. You are gonna laugh your ass off. This is such a you. It's like if you directed a movie. There's so much your cynicism and bullshit and mockery in this movie. It's great.
All right. It's on my list. We'll get there.
Which means when? You're gonna watch it when my house is built and Atham graduates from college? Yeah. Okay. That's all right. I think we got nonstop trade for $2. Cappy secretly loves big women like Lizzo. No, I don't like Lizzo. No, I don't like big women.
Yeah.
Nobody likes fat chicks. Nobody.
Except Cappy.
No, I don't know. No, nobody does. Even fat chicks don't like themselves. They hate themselves. They look at, I'm big and beautiful. You know, the life, we should do a video. This would make a great little vignette of an, like a video short, a movie short, where there's the woman at home and the woman in public, and the woman in public, you know, walking to like staying alive, bam, 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 bam. She's all confident. She's got fat woman like, and then at home, you fat fucking fuck.
Closes the door behind herself and breaks down into
shooting guys down like, not today. And then like closes the door. Like, okay, I don't know why I'm asking this. I'm going to be let down, but I don't control reality. Have you seen American Beauty?
No.
Even Pigot's going to be on my side on this one. I know he hates to choose sides because he hates us equally, but he's going to be on my side on this one. You haven't seen Tropic Thunder. You haven't seen American Beauty. What was the other one you haven't seen?
You guys see Cappy zinning out? Man on Fire.
Right here. Man on Fire. Yes, that's the other one you have to see. God, all bleeping mighty. All right, that's it. There's no more. Oh, wait, one more. Nonstop Dre, life coach, influencer, racist, and sexist. Yes, Dre.
That is Cappy.
$50 for $2. TiVo is the greatest thing ever. Is TiVo a thing anymore?
I don't know. God.
I don't know. And here's Juan. I got to say hi to Juan because our loyal Latino listener. All right, that's it. Okay. Would you promote your shit so everybody knows where to find you and your incredibly racist, sexist ass?
Yes, you can find my racism and sexism and homophobia over at the Cynical Libertarian Society. That's CYNLIBSOC.com on the interwebs.
Cool.
That's all I got.
All right, that's it. Take us out appropriately, great one.
You have another super chat.
What? Ice Nose, you're inspirational. Shut up, Ice Nose. You already screwed me over once. I don't have to, but thank you.
Stop inspiring him.
At least he didn't say brave and amazing. At least he didn't say that. You're brave and amazing. Which I think for women means you have a pulse and a set of tits. I think that's English translate. You're brave and amazing. All right. Hang on. Obleski for £2 But has Cappy seen Dr. Yes, I tried to get through it. It was horrible.
Yeah.
All right. Now take us out appropriately so I can go for my walk.
Toodles.